Clean up your act, Joe. Come on.
First in Florida with an HD radio digital signal. Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Happy birthday to Muff Lindsay.
Come on in and lay down on my couch.
And I'm the big...
Oh! What's that stand for? Orgasm?
No, that's just short for Orlando Bloom.
You don't look Jewish.
No.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Now Neil's going to rip me for 4 hours.
Well, I've been asked to keep this in strict confidence. But in case you're wondering why we're here, Joe got suspended.
Maybe we should take this call from our special guest, Roberto Luongo.
Hiya, Roberto. You know that I'm the voice of the Panthers now?
Yes. Hey, aren't you that squeaky voice guy that goes by all the time?
Oh, you got me confused with a character on another show. That's not me. I have children, you know.
Doi.
You have a funny name. Okay, what's it called?
Why did you...
Doi.
Well, we can't get into that right now. Cue the music. Hey, Joe. I don't want you walking out of here with your shit thing in your hand.
Come here.
Hiya, Joe.
I'm going to crush your head like a peanut.
10:01 at 560 WQAM. I'll tell you, that Kelly just keeps getting better, don't he?
Every day.
He is something else. Now, you going to, butch up a little bit today or what? We were talking about you, Zach. Nothing bad.
Okay.
But we had a little conference about there. Miguel and Duff and I and Josh, and we're trying to figure out what your vocal situation is.
What do you mean?
Well, you look a little horse. No, actually, in your case, more like a gigantic cow. But no, really, you just, I don't know, you can't, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't
Project.
know. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I'll get my projector out.
No, you understand what I'm saying? In other words, I think maybe there's so much fat built up around your larynx that your vocal ability is, slightly restricted.
I'll try to scream.
In other words, can you shout? Can you scream? Are you capable of doing that?
I can try.
No, I don't want you to do that. We got enough screamers running around already. But I'm just concerned for you. I think that maybe there's a gigantic buildup of fat just where your neck used to be.
I had a neck?
Who's bringing you food today?
We're still working on that.
Okay. Don't let us down now.
Jeff High said he was going to get us something today, but I don't know if he's going to come.
Yeah, he'll get you something. What's your take on the Tampa school teacher who had sex with their 14-year-old student? That was our second poll question yesterday, and it went over mighty big, let me tell you right now. Not as big as Josie Marin, but big. That's a fine picture. Let's see, the Tampa school teacher and a 14-year-old kid. I'm jealous. 488 of you people said that, about 30%.
About 30, man.
She's a crazy bitch, but very hot, 314. The cousin should be shot for squealing, 308. I'll do her at any age, 290. Desperados out there. Yeah, she's not bad, especially with all the makeup on. Without the makeup, wow. She looks like real definitive Temple Terrace trailer trash. Fry her ass, 124, and no big deal, 93. Out of over 1,600 votes on our second poll yesterday, not too shabby. And definitely not too shabby when you take a peek at our behind the beaded curtain today if you're over the age of 65 and have several pieces of ID. And John Ashcroft's, I'll guarantee you, his beady eyes are going to be like rolling around like a pinball machine today. Just taking a little peek. Josie Marin. Now, the interesting part of it is this doesn't say when she was born. That really bothers me when they have biographies that don't have somebody's age. Why would they do that?
She didn't want her age to be out there, maybe.
Says this chestnut-haired exquisite beauty is best known for her work in the summer 98 and fall 98 Guess advertising campaigns. Josie Marin was born and raised just outside San Francisco in Menlo Park and graduated from an all-girls private school, although she now resides in Manhattan, California. Oh, I see. This is very poorly written. Although she now resides in Manhattan, California will always be considered home. Following the path of many other models, Mary did not initially aspire to be a model. She was hanging out with her friends at a barbecue in her hometown 3 years ago when a woman asked her to be in a fashion show. This request was the beginning of her modeling career since the modeling agent at the show spotted Moran and encouraged her to start modeling. Anytime somebody comes up to you and says, oh boy, I'd sure like you to be in a fashion show or model for me, I'd run like a son of a bitch and call the police. Presently managed by the Elite Model Management, Marin has graced such magazine covers as Fitness, Glamour, and Teen, as well as Shape 17, Stuff, and Sport. Apart from her work in the Guess advertising campaign, she appeared in ads for Maybelline, American Eagle Outfitters, and people may also recognize her as the main female character in the Backstreet Boys video, Everybody, Backstreet's Back. Oh, yeah. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't.
I know.
Although she has already had an impressive modeling career at the tender age of 20. So, in other words, we don't need the birthday because she's 20. So there you go. Not only does she look at life as an adventure, but also enjoys learning about different people, cultures, and country, and yada, yada, all this other good stuff. Just take a peek, okay? The Price is Right. Free. Here's today's poll question, which ought to engender just lots and lots of conversation, don't you think?
Yes.
Well, it was suggested by a caller yesterday who's obviously a real professional troublemaker. And this is the way I worded it. What do you think Greg Reed, WQAM's general manager, biggest bonehead move of the past 7 years was? Now, the reason I put 7 years is because it's approaching, at the end of this year, approaching 7 years that I've been on the station. And, of course, they blew out that midday show. They blew out the Bookster and Chris Moron. And wasn't also Joe Zagacki in there? They had a whole bunch of different people in middays. Right?
Interchangeable pieces in midday.
Yeah. And piece of crap, I think is what you're trying to say, because it just never really accomplished much. No numbers, kind of like floundering. But at any rate, so we'll use that as the demarcation point. Here are the choices I have so far, and you can add on many, many more, I'm sure, because when it comes to Greg, there's no end to the mistakes that he can make. Bonehead. Hiring Scott Ferrall, firing Scott Ferrall, hiring Neil Rogers, hiring Mo Howard David, breaking up the first team, or keeping Geldy on the air. Those are some of the ones that immediately came to mind. 6.
Now, people in the building have come by and said when Carolyn was on, was that the morning crew, did they call it?
Right.
Yeah, that should be a nominee.
Well, but what does that mean? In other words, putting that on?
Yes.
Putting the morning crew on. Okay, putting on the morning crew. He was putting on the audience, I think. Putting on the morning crew. With Ron Hershey Highway. Don't forget about him. And Carolyn. The morning crew, okay? Any others? I mean, there's so many other ones. I could do them all, but I don't want take anything away from the audience or you guys.
Yeah, we can start with that.
Putting on the morning crew. So we got 7 on there for you right now. We can start, let's see, I'm going to vote. Maybe I better not say what I'm voting for. I'm going to vote for keeping Geldy on the air just to bust his little balls. Yeah. Just for the hell of it, you know?
Why not?
In fact, we got some votes already. Breaking up the first team, 9. That was the beginning of the end, Greg. And luckily, you just lucked out again. That horseshoe fell right out one more time. He's still got a few 4-leaf clovers jammed in there, too, in reserve, just in case. I don't think his luck is ever going to run out. Breaking up the first team, 9. Keeping Geldy on the air, 6. Smattering a vote here. Hiring Mo Howard David at 5. Bad mistake.
Absolutely.
Firing Scott Ferrall, 3. Hiring Neil Rogers, 1. And hiring Scott Ferrall, none out of the first 24. So that's where that sits right now. And I'm sure they all look at that. Already just zillions of these. WQAM, hello.
Hey, what up?
Yes, sir.
Put Orlando Alzagari on the air. That's the biggest move.
Okay. Yeah, that's about as bonehead as it gets. Putting the big O on the air. You got it?
Got it.
I'll tell you another one. Well, let's rip everybody in this. I mean, I put myself on there, so what's wrong with that? How about using Joe Zagacki as a fill-in?
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Okay.
Huh?
Sure.
Using Joe Zagacki on there, however you want to say it. I'll leave the fine wording up to Josh there, since he's the one sitting at he's mastering that computer thing we got.
Right.
So let's see. So we'll add those couple on there, and about 20, 30, 40 more.
About 30, man.
At least, because there's so many mistakes in so little time, Greg. And he's walking around with that smile on his face like he has some idea what planet he's on.
Oh, great job, boys, great job.
Couldn't have done it without you, Greg. WQAM, hello.
Not firing George Rodriguez.
All right. We'll put them all on there. I don't care.
Sure.
We're not protecting anybody. Not firing George Rodriguez, that must have been Mo's boyfriend calling in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're fired at it.
I wonder, do you think there's anything bad? Because a lot of these I listen to before I play them on the air, if I haven't done it already.
Uh-huh.
To make sure that there are no words that are going to let me just see.
Just a double
I'm sure that there must be some bad ones.
What's that crap they play down the hall?
That's power!
Power 96.
What garbage.
It's just a matter of time before we're going to have to dump something, so just...
The kids today don't know what's good. It's like that song, I'm happy I live in a split-level head. You remember that? How can you... Listen. I'm happy I live in the split-level head. I'm happy I live in a split-level head. You don't remember that?
No.
No?
Why am I surrounded by morons?
Come on, Howie.
Don't you go me, Howie. I've had enough insubordination from you, pal. You shut up, fatso. Okay, that's it. You're all fired.
You fat, stupid boob.
Okay, that's all we need to hear that, because I just remembered what's in there beside that, which maybe you remember too. But at any rate, well, that was enough of that. It was something about Guzzler. 567-0560, pound 560. That was back in the days when Mo and I weren't bonding like we are now.
Best friends now.
I heard him sucking up to you this morning big time. Wow. Man, just licking between the cheeks. It was just unbelievable.
You gotta love that.
Well, man, evidently you did.
Oh, I loved every second of it.
One thing about Mo, man, one day you're on, one day you're off, one day you're on the inside, next day you're on the outside. And what was that crap he was talking about, the Neil Rogers School of Broadcasting? What was that? I just caught a piece of that.
I don't know. I didn't catch that.
Right at the end of the show. The School of Broadcasting. Maybe that's because we got you on here this week.
That's probably what he was talking about.
WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, one thing before I get to the poll. I took a couple of Republican friends of mine to see Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And we actually changed somebody. They don't like Kerry, so they're just going to sit out this election.
Yeah.
So that's 2 votes less for Bush. And you want the most incompetent thing that Greg Rega's done? How about call me homie? That's got to be the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks
a lot. Yeah, I don't think anybody else in the world would put our good friend. Wasn't he briefly on? Where was he on? Somewhere.
940.
Was he really?
He was on with the morning guys.
Oh my God!
That's where you see some arm problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got your crowbonics right here, homeboy. I like that one. Manny Ramirez. How about you and me? Okay,
there's a broadcaster for you, baby. If there was ever anybody who should give you an idea what's going on in this business, there it'd be.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
What? There's a fat left-wing guy wants Bush to say goodbye, Michael Morey.
All right.
He wears extra-large pants, and they love him in France, Michael Morey. His new flick, it is full of tricks. GOP is sick, 'cause it picks on George W. Might become number one, and then when it's done, won't be fun. Bush will be screwed.
Yes.
His documentary, 4 stars from John Kerry, Michael Morey. If he wins an Oscar, his speech will last an hour, you can bet. And now all of Fox News would like him to be moving to Norway. But it's clear he'll stay here to be a pain in their rear, Michael Morey.
Welcome.
10:16 at 560 WQAM. Happy Thursday, July 1st. Happy birthday to Duff, who's 25 today. Now, good timing on playing that, because I know Zach is anxious to tell us how he enjoyed the movie last night.
It was one of the best movies I ever seen in my life.
You actually did see it?
I did. I went to the 4 o'clock showing. That was the only one that wasn't sold out.
Right.
And I sat there with my brother. He's 19. We both were like freaked out by the movie almost.
Yeah.
By the thing, all the details that were going on.
Was there a big crowd?
Yeah, it was packed at 4 o'clock.
And this was at the Sawgrass?
This was at Sawgrass. We saw like the 410. There's actually 2 now. They're showing 2 in 2 theaters now.
Really?
Yeah, because obviously they've been sold out every one, so.
There you go.
My favorite part was the Congress.
This weekend it's going to start opening in a lot of other theaters. It's going to be, I don't know what the actual number is, but it's going to be maybe double what it was already in before.
That's incredible.
So it's gaining momentum. It's gaining the old Big Mo.
Absolutely.
Like crazy. And the audience at the end of the movie, what was the reaction?
Clapping like it was the end of like the Super Bowl.
There you go. Even without the nipple.
Exactly.
Well, that's good. So you finally got to see it. So all 3 of us have seen it. That's 3 for 3. What's your excuse, folks? Oh, we don't want to see that propaganda. We don't like it. We know it's full of lies. That's what we heard. It seemed so ambitious at the time. John Kerry's campaign announced a $20 million 20-city fundraising tour in early March to prove he could unite Democrats after a competitive primary season to show up skeptics who thought the Massachusetts Democrat lacked Bill Clinton's magic touch with donors, but in short order, he proved his doubters wrong. The campaign shattered record after record during the spring, raising $26 million online in March alone, drawing in some 900,000 small donation supporters who gave $100 or so apiece this spring, and holding cocktail receptions and concerts from New York to New Orleans to L.A., where Kerry has whipped up the crowds by announcing they had set a record for fundraising events. Today, the Kerry campaign is going to announce that it's raised at least $175 million for the run-up to the general election in this presidential cycle, breaking the record that George W. Bush had set in 2000, more than $130 million. How do you like that?
Wow.
$175 million. Now, he still looks like a dead man, and he still doesn't inspire when he speaks, but nevertheless, he's got some cash. It's not so important that he succeeds, but that Bush fails, I guess, is the way we have to look at this.
That's
not so important that somebody lights a fire under Kerry, but that Bush falls on his ass, which looks like it's happening so far. Join QM and the Marlins tonight at the Dave & Buster's located off Sheridan 95. Stop by for prizes from Billy the Marlin and the Mermaids, the same low-budget prizes that QM always gives away, the same crap. It's a Marlins watch party starting at 7 o'clock tonight at the Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. See, the reason I say that is because I don't want to, downplay the fact that we got free crap, but we don't want a whole bunch of people going over there, oh, gee, we thought we had a chance to win something good. No. But we'd like to get you over there anyway. And look for the QM fan today starting at 11 o'clock this morning at the Shell station. Oh, but don't use any of that gas, though. At the Shell station located just west of I-95 on Sheridan Street. Stop by to pick up a pair of tickets to see the Marlins and the Devil Rays tomorrow night. Now, we shouldn't be saying that, should we? Can't we just say the Rays?
You can.
I mean, what was it does say Devil Rays on the uniforms, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen about 2 pictures of that. They had the big thing over there in Tampa because they were all the lunatics, the right-wingers, which is most of that town, up in arms when they first got the baseball team. Oh, no, we don't want them to be the Devil Rays. So didn't they officially become the Rays for a while?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I think they've still always been the Devil Rays.
Well, maybe there was just talk about that. We don't want to call them the Devil Rays because the devil. We don't want to be doing the work of the devil.
God forbid.
Not in Tampa. Certainly not in Lutz and Temple Terrace and Carrollwood. I'll tell you that right now, mister. What a bunch of yahoos. Jeez. Anybody out there ever lived in Tampa, I feel, I congratulate you if you got out. And if you're listening in Tampa, please get out before it's too late.
I used to live there.
In where?
Brandon.
Oh, in Brandon, where the arena used to be, right? Or that Bartow?
Yeah, it's Bartow. Oh. Brandon's where the big mall is.
Yeah, I know where Brandon is. You lot of yahoos.
Yeah.
Wow. What a place. Clearwater? In fact, the whole West Coast, is there any place on the West Coast of this state where it's just not Yahoo City? I mean, Panama City's beautiful, but there ain't nothing but Bible thumpers and Yahoos there. I think Two-Egg isn't too bad. You ever drive through Two-Egg, that stoplight?
No.
Really? You probably did, you just don't know it.
Probably.
But, boy, the West Coast of this state is just a real nightmare. Infinity sues Clear Channel over Stern cancellations.
All right.
That is good news. Why is it good news? Because anything bad that happens to Clear Channel makes us very, very happy. Clear Channel has been sued by Infinity Broadcasting and 112 Incorporated, the company that places Stern show on affiliate stations, for violating the terms of the agreements that Clear Channel had to air the Howard Stern show in those 6 U.S. markets. Infinity and 112 seek more than $10 million in damages, and each accused Clear Channel of failing to notify them that Stern show was being dropped, a requirement of the contract. Well, they must know Greg. In other words, when they have a contract, they just don't pay any attention to it. When I shake your hand, it means nothing. Infinity and 112 also charged in their breach of contract claim that they are owed license fees by Clear Channel. In a statement, Clear Channel Chief Legal Officer Andy Levin said, Howard Stern is the only one who has broken the law. His contract explicitly requires his show comply with all FCC rules and regulations. On several occasions, it clearly did not. Clear Channel Radio had both a legal right and obligation to stop broadcasting it because we're a bunch of goody two-shoes and a bunch of holes. Stern's show was pulled from, we know, Miami, Orlando, Pittsburgh, Rochester, and San Diego. And what I'm hearing from the people in town is that the TV stations in Dayton, Broward yesterday, 4, 6, 7, 10, 23, 51, 175, that they were all hyperventilating that Stern is coming back on the air. Well, guess what? Now, as we told you yesterday, he's coming back on the air again, but in Palm Beach on the Buzz. Even little Tommy Jicker writes a real half-assed column this morning to tell people, and he does mention there that the signal is not good in Broward and you can't hear it in Dade. He mentions that, so why not point that out? That there's a real strange thing going on here. He's back on in the markets he was off before. Pittsburgh, right? San Diego, Rochester, right?
Yep.
Not in Louisville, though. But he's working on that. But something is amiss here. How come he comes back on in Palm Beach? He wasn't even on in Palm Beach before. He's going back in Orlando on a station you can hear. He's going in Tampa where he never was before. Look out. But he's coming on in what is it, call letters? I don't even know the call letters. PBZ. I'm so glad I asked. 103.1 The Buzz starting July 19. Big to-dos. And how come they're not asking the obvious question, right? Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
How come he's not going to be on the coast? How come he's not going to be on KISS? Power 96. I mean, there are some FM stations that Clear Channel doesn't own. I know that's a great shock to you. I may have just given you all of them. I don't know. How come he's not going to be on Life? Well, he'd inject a little life into that thing. And as a matter of fact, they're number one. That's a pretty sad commentary, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Goes to show there are a lot of people over the age of 100 and a lot of elevator music in offices all over the town. Doctors, proctologists, everywhere you go. It's Life. The music of your life. Crap. So anyway, July 19th, Stern goes on WPBZ in West Palm Beach, and we had some spy reports yesterday, and you get different stories. Everybody's got stories, you know. Muff told me this morning that he can't hear it. Who was telling me? Oh, no, Fat Boy.
He can't hear it where?
Somewhere. I don't know. Wherever the hell he lives. In Pembroke Pines, I guess. Can't hear it. Nothing but a bunch of static. And you? Have you tried to hear it?
I couldn't hear it in Plantation yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe it was.
Well, that's bad. And of course, Josh says he lives in Coral Springs, which is pretty far up there, and he can't hear it. Is that what you said, or am I putting words in your mouth?
No, it's very staticky. I pick it up terrible.
Well, if it's very staticky, it ought to make you feel right at home. You work on QAM.
Very true.
What's wrong with a little static, like I always tell you? There you go. Make you feel right at home.
Sounds a lot better.
Well, like I told you before, and I hate to break the news to you, I've been saying this for a couple of years now. This is a dinosaur. Remember the Sinclair gas stations? You ever see those where the dinosaur used to be the logo? I'm sure they're not in business anymore. But anyway, they had a big dinosaur. And that's what radio is. You ought to have like a logo on your radio right now. A big old dinosaur. Because we're done. We're all finished. In fact, the fact that Stern is coming on, he's bellyaching. Oh, gee, they fired me. Clear Channel fired me, and I was so pissed off. Well, the fact of the matter is that Bubba Love Sponge got fired. Nobody's talking about him. Nobody's talking about these poor bastards that are getting fired on these 9 stations that Stern's going back on or going on a first time. And nobody else is talking about other people whose shows are being watered down and have to, like, be careful because they can't say or they can't do crap. Right. This is the thing that just, like I said yesterday, and I know we got a lot of Howard Stern fans listening to this show, and that's fine. Okay, more power to you. But the fact of the matter is, like I told you all along when they started with this crap back after the booby gate there in the Super Bowl, this isn't about Howard Stern, and this isn't about him knocking Bush. Infinity's paid millions of dollars in fines when Clinton was president, when Bush is president, because of Stern's show. It's got nothing to do with that. That's just he just wants to make a martyr of himself. But, geez, have a little bit of Rachmanis, a little bit of compassion for the other people in the business, which he doesn't have, because as far as he's concerned, there are no other people in the business.
He doesn't care about anyone else.
No, of course not. It's the world according to Howard, like I said the other day. Now, some other news, which I don't see in print anywhere, but everybody seems to know, is the thing that Blind Mike called in yesterday. Thanks a lot, Blind Mike. 28 years, and he finally called in with something useful. Nice going, Mike. Mike Wance. Phil Henry's going off IOD. How do you like that? You heard that yesterday, right? Yep. Isn't that something? See, it goes to show you that turn to the right that he took, well, didn't help.
WIOD. Oh, I hate that station.
Not far enough to the right. That's why they're going to put Sean Hannity on there spewing Nazi propaganda in WIOD. And who did you say is going to be on in the morning?
On
was that
on
who?
610?
Yeah.
I have no idea in the morning.
Or maybe that was Miguel telling me. Captain Billy? Somebody I never heard of before. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Captain Kangaroo?
Yeah, Captain Kangaroo or Skipper Chuck. I don't know. They got real tourists, man, and we saw their numbers just dropping big time. Bad over there. Nice going, David Ross. Nice going, Petey Bolger, man. I'd like to see the lineup of people in this business who'd like to just see his head on a plate. Since that seems to be the in thing these days, I'd like to see Pete Bolger's head on a plate.
That would be interesting.
Can you imagine how many people in this business would pay to see that? In fact, can you imagine how many people would like to hold that machete? Maybe we could get OJ over there. Supervise the ceremony. Do something useful, OJ, okay? And by the way, your daughter hates you. 28 past 10. We got a very light log today. It's kind of like just a light and fluffy day. You know what I mean? Today and tomorrow.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. No pressure. The trend is out. The spring book is over with already. We're just kind of floating along here, you know. That's what Freaky Carlos said. We're just kind of floating. In fact, it's 4th of July weekend. Time for the mattress and furniture stores to run those phony sales they do every year at this time. When they double the price, then they say, hey, guess what? We're giving you half off. Big deal. Don't waste time this weekend dragging around shopping for a mattress, schlepping in this unbelievable heat. Save money and time this weekend by calling Dial a Mattress at 1-800-MATTRESS right now for prices lower than the mall stores even during these so-called big sales. Only Dial a Mattress delivers 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, including the 4th and 5th of July. That's correct. You heard me right. You can get delivery this entire holiday weekend. Dial a Mattress is ranked #1 in the world in customer satisfaction. They won the 2004 Better Business Bureau Local Torch of Excellence Award, too. When you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll get the best prices on the best brands go and delivery on your schedule. You still get to pick that 2-hour window when it's convenient for you, and the best customer service going anywhere. Dial a Mattress has got all the names you love: Sealy, Serta, King Coil, Simmons, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns, and Bananas Foster, too. All of us at QAM, including yours truly, we've been getting our new beds at Dial a Mattress, and you ought to be doing the same. 1-800-MATTRESS, that's the number to call, or check them on the web at mattress.com. 1-800-MATTRES, the easiest, the smartest way to guarantee you a great night's sleep for years to come.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
And Neil Rogers. Having trouble falling asleep? If conventional sleep machines with settings like gentle rain and babbling brook don't help, get the John Kerry Sleep Machine. It lulls you to sleep with the mind-numbing sounds of a John Kerry political speech.
I used to toss and turn for hours, but now I just turn on my John Kerry Sleep Machine.
My international strategy is centered on an architecture.
And before I know it,
if America is to prevail in the current geopolitical climate.
The John Kerry Sleep Machine offers 4 different policy settings to suit every mood. From tax reform.
My new payroll tax credit would restore.
I'm getting so sleepy.
Today.
To the economy.
Before we can lay the foundations of economic
prosperity,
we must lay the foundations of economic intelligence.
Get the John Kerry Sleep Machine today. And with any luck, you'll sleep right through the election.
I'm John Kerry. And I approve the John Kerry Sleep Machine.
Available wherever
the only sleep machine approved by John Kerry. And I hope you will vote.
It's a beaut.
Let me tell you
10:30. Calm down, John. So here's the facts to correct Blind Mike. I know he couldn't be all right. Phil Henry will still be on WIOD, but they're moving him up 10 o'clock at night, okay? So in other words, they're taping it and they're, whatever they're doing with it.
Yeah, 5 to 9 in the morning will be Captain Brian, whoever that is.
Captain Brian. Oh, yeah. Who's that?
You tell me.
Captain Kangaroo's cousin.
I never heard of Captain Brian. So in other words, they're shuffling the deck again, all around. That's what Petey Bolger is most famous for. Didn't I say that yesterday? Shuffle it all around, shuffle the same old crap around, bring in some more piped-in crap. Captain Brian, my ass. So I guess Sean Hannity, 7 to 10, and then at 10 o'clock it's Phil Henry is what it's going to be.
Are you sure?
That's what they're telling us. We don't mind promoting all either. For example, here's one. It's obviously a setup, just like the call we had yesterday about Bill O'Reilly. Oh, I got a scathing Bill O'Reilly article today, but a little later. Remember that call we had that was obviously a setup? Probably Petey Lenny's boyfriend. Oh, I didn't know Bill O'Reilly was on the air here. Where is he on the air? What? 850, okay, WFTL, 850. It's a Palm Beach station with a really big signal that nobody listens to. That's the one. Because Bill in Miami Beach says, enjoy the show. What happened to Jeff DeForest? Where is he now? 850 WFTL. See, they're all looking to me to pump them up, okay? I'm the Arnold of radio. I'm pumping everybody up. Not going to help, though.
Such a great promoter you are.
Yeah, but, hey, listen, if you're, like I said the other day, if you're paranoid, if you're nervous about everybody else, if you're scared, then you just don't mention any of the other call letters. Oh, we're not going to talk about Neil Rogers. We're not going to talk about anybody because, somebody might discover them. If we mention them. That kind of stupid crap. Because there's so many stupid people in this business. And we work for one. And that's why we asked today, what do you think Greg Reed, WQAM's general manager's biggest bonehead move of the past 7 years was? Look at that. Almost 200 votes in less than half an hour. When did we start the poll? About 10 after? Thereabouts?
Yep.
Less than half an hour, got nearly 200. See, yesterday's first poll, they hated like poison. I don't even remember what the hell it was. What was it?
Yeah, sports figure was the biggest whore.
Oh, I thought that was good.
Yeah, so did I.
In fact, who did I see? Oh, I saw Shaq on there last night peddling some crap, all sweated up and with a gigantic head that took up the whole screen.
Back medicine. Like for back.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Oh, brother. What a whore. And the thing that really frosts my ass is, don't these guys make enough money in their professions, making millions and millions and millions playing some stupid game? Don't they make enough there?
No.
God. Anyway, Greg's biggest mistake, hiring Mo Howard David at 53. Oh, come on, picking on my good buddy Mo. What do you think about that, Zach?
I can't believe they would do that.
Speak up. We can't hear you, Zach.
I can't believe that they would say that about Howard.
Yeah, about Howard. Now, was he really calling Geldy last week when Geldy was doing when Joe was suspended? I mean, when
he was.
He was calling him Geldy.
Yeah, he did at the end.
And yet, in spite of that, the fact that he hates him like poison now, the two of them are like the peanut butter and jelly routine again.
Oh yeah,
that's a bunch of phony crap. Firing Scott Ferrall, 46. Now, you see, this is what I knew that would get a lot of votes, and this is what really cracks me up.
I'm going to kick his ass, and then I'll steal his toupee.
Is the people who see, they miss him badly, and it was a lot of fun and all that other stuff. They don't get it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do.
They just don't get it. Yeah. But we'll just move right along. Firing Scott Ferrall, 46. Breaking up the first team, 46, which, of course, is what started the whole... In fact, you can't talk about most of the other ones on here, or many of the other ones, without tying it into that.
That started it all off?
Because that was when he dropped the gigantic egg on the ground like Humpty Dumpty, and now he's been trying to put the pieces together for 2.5 years, and he can't do it. And this goes to show what a jerk we work for. Joel Rose comes to the guy 2.5 years ago and says, I'm going to do full-time at NBC 6. I'm leaving. Thanks for everything. He gives him notice, whatever the hell it was, a few weeks, a couple of months. Well, I'm going to be leaving at the end of the year. Well, you can't leave. You're fired. You're all fired. The first team, you're all fired. But you can stay around until I figure out what I'm going to put on there. You're fired, but you're not fired. I've been in this business 100 years. I never heard anything like that.
That is pretty crazy.
You're all fired because I'm been out. And, of course, he was planting all that stuff in very jackass. He wasn't happy with the first team's numbers and all this other garbage. Of course, they had those 19-minute breaks, which made it kind of hard to listen to. But nevertheless. And that's what started it, is that he blew everybody out, then he let him in. Then, of course, there was the Depot show. A lot of people have forgotten that episode because it lasted very briefly. The morning show with Jeff DeForest. Is that what we called it?
I think that was the name of it.
The Jeff DeForest morning. And then, of course, the Depot had a little problem with the Indians. And and he disappeared. And as a result, then, of course, it became the morning the morning wrecking crew.
That's when I started working here.
Well, that explains a lot.
After the blow-up.
So in other words, you were on with Ron Hersey Highway?
Yes, and
Carolyn?
And Vandy.
Who?
Mark Vandermeer was on in the morning.
Oh, Mark Vandy. Oh, brother. I forgot I'm dealing with a sports nerd guy. Mark Vandermeer. He's a good guy.
Yeah, Vandy was a great guy.
He never stole a freight train, although his wife used to hate me like poison. You know why? She used to say I picked on Joe Zagacki too much. She used to crank call the station, I think. She used to make, how come you're picking on Joe Zagacki? And I don't know what that was all about. And what did Mark Vandermeer have to do with Joe Zagacki anyway, when you come right down to it?
He used to call the Canes games.
Vandermeer?
Yes.
Right. So what does that have to... Oh, Zagacki worked with him?
Yeah.
Boy, that is scary. He crushed it. Although, of course, our favorite is...
Oh, my!
Man. Good guy, though. Let me say it again. All business, not personal. Like Joe a lot. He's a good guy. And he's a mensch, too. On a rare occasion when I am there and he's in there, like filling in for Hank or something, always comes over, shakes my hand. We confabulate for like 20 seconds or whatever. Doesn't take it personal. Unlike some people I know.
Absolutely.
Who take it personal. This is business, and you're taking it very, very personal.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. WQAM.
Took me a little while. I'm a little slow learner, but Neil, I apologize. It's radio. You are the truth.
Absolutely.
There's a bio that I've written called My Life about White House days. Soon Hillary will be bitter. 10 million That's what they paid. There's a chapter on my impeachment and the hefty intern. I point in the hall, I got busted for my cheating. Oh boy, in my life, I wrote it all. And besides my skanky lovers, there's some crap in there about my policies, but those pages won't get noticed. So just think of them as a waste of trees. Still, I hope you go and buy yourself a copy, so I can sell more than Hillary. Then you can read about a girl who's fat and sloppy. 'Cause my life ain't rated G. 'Cause my ain't rated G. Oh, baby. Oh!
10:45 at 560 WQAM. So anyway, here's, I interrupted myself. I have a habit of doing that. Kill some good time, though. 274 votes already. This is going over big time. They love this kind of crap. Greg Reed's biggest mistake in the last 7 years, hiring Mo Howard Davided, 70. Breaking up the first team, 60. Firing Scott Ferrall, 54. Keeping Geldy on the air, 28. Not firing little George Rodriguez, 19. Hiring Scott Ferrall, 12. Using Josie as a fill-in, 9. To fill in. Putting the big on the air, 8. Putting on the Crows, 7. Hiring Neil Rogers, 6. And putting on the morning crew, 1. I bet you hardly anybody even remembers that, you know, other than Zach.
The morning crew.
How long was that on? Actually, it was on a few months, and believe it or not, the numbers were very good, that book. Maybe it was just a coincidence. Numbers were pretty dang good in that one book they were on. I have no idea why, because it was like a freak show, like an accident.
Every day there was a new host.
It was really something. But we couldn't have done it without that Ron Hersey Highway, I'll tell you that. He was really a hoot and a holler. This Dave Slater, man, I used to like Dave a lot, but this, if you think you're going to hoard this show, whoever sent me this thing from New Times Magazine, if you people don't stop, if you get any more faxes from Dave Slater's people, don't, his people, both of them, don't send them to me, please.
No problem.
I mean, he's running again for the county mayor. Good guy, good intentions, but you know what they say about the best of intentions going to hell in a handbasket? Man, oh man. When he ran for mayor in 2000, he received 4,095 votes. They asked him, what's different about this year? He remains unflappable. We've got so many people running out there. It's not going to take much to get into a runoff. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, okay, it's a wide open race. Good luck to you, Dave, okay? I hope you save all of us from whatever it is, from the rest of Dade County. Okay, let's get some more choices for the poll on here, okay? Because they're just sucking it up. 5670560. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, I am.
2 pieces of good news for you. First of all, there are people going door to door to register people to vote.
All right.
Yes. Okay. Second is I saw Fahrenheit 9/11 on Saturday night at Aventura Mall.
Right.
I called up 2 hours before. Used my credit card. Okay. So I reserved the tickets. I went to the service desk. Picked them up. We were there an hour early. Picked our seats.
You picked your seat.
Yeah, picked our seats. We got in an hour early, so picked our seats. They opened a second theater for it at that time, Saturday. So I would advise everybody to go that way with it.
Okay, thanks, Pally.
Okay.
Have a great
All right.
He picked his seat, and he was even unabashed about it. You know, I want to make sure I heard right. Don't be doing that in public no more, please. But at any rate, it is filling the theaters everywhere, and it's opening in a whole bunch more theaters, like I said. And, the right-wingers want to pretend, it's all propaganda, and it's all a bunch of lies, and we don't want... It's all right there for us. It's all well documented, all right? I can't imagine anybody going to that movie and not leaving there like a little breathless, like, you're pissed off, fired up, foaming at the mouth.
Exactly how I felt yesterday.
And I find that some of the people that are knocking it the most, number one, aren't seeing it. Number two, they haven't got to know their ass from your elbow. That's the sad part. Some of the people on this station ought to stick to sports. I don't want to mention no names, you know what I mean? 5670560, pound 560 on the 18. Now, did Mo see it as he talked about it?
He hasn't talked about it yet. I don't think he saw it yet.
Well, why not?
I'm not sure. I told him about it this morning.
Well, he's waiting probably for the early bird showing in Boca.
The matinee.
Oh. Let's see. How about? Oh yeah. This is really the winner, although it won't get as many votes as it should. This is the winner of this madness called Greg Reed. And it says, how about approving WQAM's association with OJ at the golf tournament? Not just approving it, but doing it. He was the mover and shaker, and then, of course, he's pointing at everybody else. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about that. Yeah. That same usual dumb sound he makes. Sam had to take the fall for that, which was fine, because if anybody deserved it, he did. But the screw-in, they were all into it up to their armpits. After I agreed to do that stupid golf tournament to raise funds for Center One or whatever, whichever, it was Center One. And I didn't want any part of it. I have no interest in golf tournaments. I don't like golf. I don't want nothing to do with it. But they convinced me, it's going to raise so much money, which of course turned out to be a lie anyway, because you get a little slice, a little piece, you know. And then it was brought to my attention, there's a chance we could get OJ to come to it, and I just put all four of my feet down. I said, no chance, man. If OJ is involved in any way, shape, or form with this thing, if you go ahead with that, I won't have nothing to do with it. You understand? And they say, oh, yeah, okay, Massa. Whatever you say, Massa. And then guess what? Lo and behold, on the day of the golf tournament, we find out who's there, who has been flown in by this radio station, who paid for his expenses, traded out the airfare, whatever the hell they did, the slicer.
Oh, man.
The mad slicer. So I don't know how you want to word that. Just put OJ at the golf tournament. Put that on there, okay, please. And I'm going to say it again. I should have sued him for about $50 million right there. I could be sitting on the Isle of Capri right now, eating some veal parmesan and having a wonderful life. Man, oh man, that was so unconscionable and so typical. So typical of the kind of sports nerds that we see. People think that when I'm knocking sports nerds, they don't get it. They don't understand. Most of you have never in your life encountered the kind of lunacy that exists at WQAM. Not only didn't you meet these people, you never knew there were such people. I never knew that existed before I came to this station. Sports. Yeah. I wasn't been in 100 years before I came here. I thought I knew something about radio. We had Mad Dog at IOD. We had a couple hours of sports talk every night, 6 to 8. That seemed to be enough. But no, this is taking it to another level, to another dimension. People who live, eat, and breathe, that's all they know. Even when they fart, it smells like a sport. God. Anyway, don't get me worked up about that. Just, it's the mentality. They got OJ. I wonder if they still have those pictures, those posters of OJ in the orifices there, like the water Nazi.
Not sure.
You think they're still around?
It's possible.
We ought to check that out. We ought to send one of our spies out to see if they can find some of them OJ posters around the building. Anyway, here's a fax from Ned, who says, have you seen the latest issue of Vanity Fair, the one with David Beckham on the cover? No, I have not. It says, on it, Bridget Bardot is complaining about Saint-Tropez. She says it's been taken over by... What? What is that word?
I couldn't read it either.
By Yobs? It's like Miami. What is Yob? Oh, it says, and the faxer says, I have no idea what a Yob is, but it doesn't sound... I don't know. Okay, if anybody knows what it is. Some people like to have a good Yob, but I don't know what that is. So we'll find out. Let's see. You probably missed it in the rush of news last week, but there was actually a report that someone in Pakistan had published in a newspaper an offer of a reward to anyone who killed an American, any American. Oh, God, what is this? Caca. Wow. Is it a full moon or what? Good stuff is pouring in now. Here's another one that says, this surprised me. I saw Fahrenheit 9/11 at the Regal Cypress Creek Station in Fort Lauderdale. This surprised me because the Regal didn't play the movie last week. The Sun Sentinel doesn't even list the time that it's playing, although they did list Spider-Man, a movie that only came out yesterday, and Fahrenheit came out last Friday. So all who haven't seen it yet will need to either look up Regal's website or call them for show times. Maybe they want to keep it a secret. Regal Cypress Creek Station, 954-771-0033. They're at 6415 North Andrews Avenue, Fort Lauderdale. 771-0033. Worst of all, the Regal didn't even have signs at their ticket booths to show that Fahrenheit was playing, let alone the times for the film. Also, while the other films had their own signs over the theater rooms in which they were playing, Fahrenheit did not. Nevertheless, the theater had about 15 people in there, but I bet if anybody knew it was playing there, there'd have been a lot of people that would have been packed. The movie was great, should be seen by every voter to show them why Bush should not be allowed to steal another election. I can't wait for Fahrenheit's DVD release in September. Thank you, Neil, for keeping us up to date in the film and basically telling us Michael Moore, everything he did long before it came out in the movie. That's what I felt, that a lot of the stuff, a lot of those bedtime stories I read, and a lot of information I've been trying to pass along. But then again, I'm reaching how many people?
About 30, man.
I'm reaching a few more people than I am. So nice going, Mike. Keep going, fat boy. We're like our fat friends. If they don't stop showing this Saddam Hussein crap, I'm going to turn on the Comedy Channel. I can't stand it no more. I'm going to turn on Leafs TV. That's how pissed off I am, okay? Anything besides this crap. It's like a 30-minute thing, and they've been showing it over and over and over again. He said, and he did say one thing that a lot of people could agree with. He said, I'm not the one they ought to be after. Bush is the criminal, which I think they may have a point. Not, of course, that we would kill anybody. You do understand that. 5670560.
Period. Game 1 of the Spengler Cup for Canada and Germany.
Oh, yeah. Let's put that on the rest of the day. What do you say?
Spangler Cup? Is that what
the Spangler Cup. WQAM, hello.
Neil, did I reach the wild card line?
WQAM, hello.
Yeah, hi. I got some update on this Phil Hendry being canceled. He's not being canceled.
No, he's out at 10 o'clock.
I know. Isn't that outrageous?
What do you mean by that?
Well, because the guy is truly a right-wing hypocrite. He claims to be a Democrat, and he's going to vote for Bush.
Yeah.
I mean, can't he even admit that he's a right-wing Republican?
He's a total sellout is what he is.
Oh, I think he really believes what he says. That's the horrible part.
I don't think so. I think he's just going with the flow.
Wow. Yeah,
which is even worse.
Yeah, so that means that now we got to listen to him. He's on 6 days a week.
No, I don't think we have to listen to him at all, because I've managed to live most of my life since we all left WIOD without almost ever hearing him anymore. So I don't think we have to listen to him at all.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Neil.
I don't know what that means when you start saying we have to listen to him.
Well,
What does that mean?
I fall asleep to the radio, usually coast to coast, which is so far out you can fall asleep. But now I've got this fascist coming on at 10 o'clock, and I've got to fall asleep to I don't know, music or sleeping pills instead. I
think music would be get some of those records they have with the nice sounds of the waterfalls, or maybe get that John Kerry sleep machine might do it.
You're right. Okay. I'm going to vote for Kerry anyway. Anything but Bush.
There you go. Thanks.
Bye.
See, I'm always nervous when people, we got to listen to it. No, you don't have to listen to anything. Nobody yet is holding a gun to your head saying you must listen to this. Now, that may happen if Bush gets in again. You will listen or else. We have Vase. But not yet. Join WQM in the Marlins tonight at Dave & Buster's off Sheridan I-95. Stop by for prizes from Billy the Marlin and the Mermaids. Now, you remember that song, Popsicles and Icicles by the Mermaids?
Yeah, sure.
I could have said anything, and you say, yeah, you don't remember that song?
I have no idea what that song is.
Oh, because George didn't either. Josh, of course, wouldn't know that before he was born. It's a Marlins watch party starting at 7 tonight at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. Everybody bring their own watch. And don't forget, if you have one of those watches with a calendar date that says 31st, today's the day to change it over to the 1st. Why do they do that? Don't they have watches that have, automatic, know what month it is?
That would be too easy.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
My watch says the 31st.
The chronograph. Well, I already switched mine over to the 1st. I mean, I got a pretty expensive watch here. It's one of those, what do you call them?
Rolex?
No, Rolex. No, it's a Seiko, but it's one of those chronograph, not chronograph, one of those that you never have to wind, you never had, what do they call these?
When you take it off, does it stop, when it's off your hand?
No. Yeah. Yeah, if you ever take it off, it just comes to a dead stop.
Yeah, just
I forget what they call it. Kinetic, that's what they call it. Some people are frenetic, my watch is kinetic.
All right.
You don't know what kinetic watch? Boy, I tell you, you're learning a hell of a lot on this show. I heard Mo pumping you this morning about, what's different about being on a Joe Rose show and being on with Neil? What is he talking about?
Whatever passes time for him.
Oh, kind of like us. Sure. 10:58 at 560 WQM. If you're sick and tired of your PC being attacked by browser pop-up windows and being watched by spyware and getting nothing but virus emails from your friends and coworkers, the easiest way to deal with these bugs is get you a Macintosh from the Mac Center, the Apple specialist in Fort Lauderdale. The Macintosh is built on an entirely different base than Windows, so all those PC pests just can't hurt the Mac. The technology experts at Mac Center can show you that it's easy to change to the Mac with thousands of programs available, including ones you're already used to and like Microsoft Word and Excel. They'll even take your old computer as a trade-in. So make the change today by calling the Mac Center at 486-5500. You won't get a better deal on your Mac or iPod anyplace else in town because the Mac Center is home of the 5% rebate on every purchase. Be sure to mention that Neil sent you by for extra savings, too. At the Mac Center on Commercial Boulevard, call them at 954-486-5500.
And local. This is Sports Radio 560. WQAM.
Troy on the next Deadwood.
Hey, Dick, who was at that energy meeting anyway? It was King Lay, wasn't it?
Go yourself.
Who's that new fella in town shooting and a cursing?
His name is Dick Cheney, the worst vice president we've had since Spiro Agnew. That's why they call him Deadwood Dick. Now get out of my office.
That torture investigation sure is getting mighty close to your office.
Go yourself.
Hey, aren't you the guy that called me a bad Catholic?
Go yourself.
That's telling him, Deadwood Dick.
You got that right, Brownback. The guy was a major league. I don't normally express myself that way.
It's 11:02 at 560 WQAM. Here's the schedule today. It looks almost pristine. Oh, not. It's not. The Hebrew Hammer ain't with us today. He's on his way to Vegas, I bet.
That's right.
We got Mad Dog at 2. Eddie K will be plunging his guts out between 4 and 7 this afternoon. Then we got Marlins on deck, 7 o'clock tonight. Marlins at the Braves to try to atone for last night's embarrassing loss. 7:35 tonight. And Curtis Stevenson is on in Eddie K's spot. Are you following the bouncing balls? Good. We got balls. And they're bouncing all over the place. There was Sodom again on CNN, just in case you missed it the first 6,000 times. That was Sodom, who looked a little like Castro with a darker beard. Let's see. In spite of all the nice things you're saying about Mo and the fact that you're sucking up to him again, you just can't get him off the hook, I don't think, even for old time's sake.
What do you mean?
Because on a poll, what do you think WQAM General Manager Greg Reed's biggest bonehead move of the past 7 years was? We got 373 votes in less than an hour. Oh! Holy crap, Brett, man. Man! See, anytime we do this kind of a poll, we'll give them a chance to, spout off about the station or about radio, which is good because we're the only thing keeping radio alive.
That's right.
And, of course, Howard. You know which Howard I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
No, not you. Hiring Mo Howard David at 86. Although it's fairly tight. He can still be beaten with a whip. Breaking up the first team, 78.
Firing Scott Ferrall, 73. We're pissed off about we want Ferrall back.
See, if it didn't hurt my throat so much, I would do the show in that voice every other day.
4 hours of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I told George when he fills in it, because he does a very good Ferrall. He does it great. But it just tears your guts out. You could probably do it with that raspy voice you got.
What do you mean?
No, like I said.
I'm not
firing Scott, terrible. Ferrall, 75. Not firing George Rodriguez, 35. You see the big drop-off? You got 3 big categories there, and everybody else so far, small taters. Not firing George, 35. Keeping Geldy on the air, 34. OG at the golf tournament just went on there. It's already got 20. Nice going, folks. I hope you appreciate and understand how pissed off and fired up anybody associated with the show was, and rightfully so, and should have sued their fat ass. Greg, it's a lawsuit. It's a suit. You should have seen him that day, boy. He was just foaming at the mouth. It's a suit, Greg. Yeah, it's the Brooks Brothers. Hiring Scott Ferrall, 16. Using Joe Z as a fill-in, 10. Oh, brother.
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Hiring Neil Rogers, 9. Again, keep in mind, those are people who are listening to this show, which I find most amusing. Putting on the Crow, 9. I'm tied with the Crow. Putting the big O on the air, 8. And putting on the Morning Crew, 3 out of almost 400 votes already. I want to ask a question about, and I asked George this, and I thought he would be able to answer me, but can't know everything, right?
Right.
About CD cleaners. Because every once in a while, your CD player will start, at least these here, are starting to every once in a great while will skip a little bit,
Yep.
You had that problem ever?
I have.
I'm not talking about a dirty CD. I know what that's all about. You have to clean the disc. I'm talking about a disc that's as clean as a baby's ass.
And the CD player isn't working right.
And every once in a while, and so I asked George, is there a thing you can get, if you have a VCR, anybody knows you get a cleaning tape, right?
Yes.
And I asked if there's the same thing for a CD player, and he went, bada-beep, bada-boop, and no.
There is one.
Now, where do I get it? Because I know there is one, because I went on, huh?
Radio Shack.
I will not go to Radio Shack, unless I absolutely have to. Huh?
Any of those electronic places.
Yeah.
Best Buy, Circuit City, wherever. You could buy, a little CD cleaner. You just put it in there and let it, play for, a minute or something like that, and it's supposed to clean it. Should clean it all up for you.
Well, what the hell's wrong with George? He's supposed to be the maven on those things. That's supposed to be his area of expertise.
Just don't know anyone's toes.
Boy. Well, this weekend I'm going to go out and buy me a CD cleaner. And, man, then these things are going to sound really...
This is Air America.
They're going to sound really great. Because one thing we can't afford to have is any technical screw-ups here. Then the engineers from down there are going to want to come up here again. Like Yelton tried to come here a couple of weeks ago. Forget about it, Fix It. You're a good guy, but get lost. WQAM, hello.
Good morning, sir.
Buenos dias.
Depending on the player brand, depending on how it's designed, those things will either work or they will not. The guys over there are right. You can go to Circuit City or any of those places and get one of those. But if the lens in the thing is put back too far, those little brushes that they put on them just will not work. As a matter of fact, what they might do is scratch the lens on it.
Really?
Yeah. It really depends on I don't know if you have professional equipment, considering if QAM bought it, I know what kind of equipment you have.
No, actually, the equipment here is very good. Down there, it's all a bunch of crap, but here we got two Denon CD players, pretty good ones.
The Denons they should work on.
Okay.
The Denons they should work just fine.
But when you say brushes, I'm not sure I understand, because I thought it was a disc you put in there.
Yeah, it's a disc like a CD, like a regular CD disc.
Right.
But they're supposed to have like a little thing, like a little
brush
hanging off of it, if I can still say that.
Right.
And that's what's supposed to spin around and go over the laser lens and clean the lens and all that good stuff.
Well,
I'm surprised you're having that kind of problem with Denning equipment. I don't know how long you've had those, but
about 2.5 years.
That's weird. You shouldn't be having that kind of a problem.
Really?
With those. Yeah. That's really good equipment usually. I mean.
Well, but if you shouldn't have that kind of a problem, then why do they make the cleaner in the first place? See what I'm saying?
Well, remember the audio industry makes all kinds of stuff that really you don't need, but somebody's making some bucks out of it.
Right. That's a good point.
Anyways, I just wanted to let you know I've seen Fahrenheit 9/11, and I take my girlfriend to see it this weekend again. Excellent movie. People really should go to see that before November.
Amen. Thanks a lot.
All right, Neil. Take care.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Well, there's a good guy who knows which side is up and which side is down, and now Josh has seen the movie, and Zach has seen the movie, and Neil has seen the movie, and George. We don't know about George. Did he give you any idea what he was going to go and see it?
Nope.
Did he go away this week or not? I know I asked him, but my Alzheimer's kicks in. I forgot if he actually went to North Carolina or went somewhere.
I'm not sure.
We don't know.
Nope.
It'd be a shame if he actually didn't go away and I called and said, "Hey, George, you're supposed to work tomorrow." I wouldn't do that. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Speak to me.
Radio? Hello,
this is radio, yes. This is radio, and that's pretty sad, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, Neil.
Yes.
Two things. I got a pig report.
Okay.
Southbound I-75, just south of our Rita Parkway, there's about 30 FHPs with camera.
About 30, man.
Right, okay.
Getting everybody.
Wow.
Also,
Happy 4th of July. They're out to get you. They want your money. And?
Click it or lick it. Also, saw Fahrenheit 9/11. Sensational. Gonna go see it again. Also, I noticed last night on the Fox, not necessarily Nazi station, they're starting off about how much money is Michael Moore gonna make on this movie in Arab countries.
Oh man.
Woo! But they failed to mention how much money Mel Gibson made with his beating of Christ over there.
Now, don't forget, man, that was for the Lord. You better get your priorities straightened out. Have a great weekend, Pally.
You too.
See ya. I'm glad he mentioned that thing about a pig report because I forgot to mention to the audience that those people who live out by me there in West Broward, very familiar, like on Hiatus Road between Sunrise and Broward Boulevard, between the Sunrise and that's been for a long time one of the top 5 pig speed traps in town.
Yes, you're definitely right about that.
Now they've closed off because they don't know what to do. They don't know whether to scream or eat a banana because they've got 2 hiatus roads now. They got old hiatus road, and then they got the new hiatus, which they've been building for about 5 years now, and it's paved, but it don't go anywhere, and they don't know what to do with it. I could tell them what to do with it. So they've got southbound hiatus there, from what I'm told, blocked off.
Yeah.
So it's bad for business, see, for the porkers. So now what he's done is he set up shop on the corner of 118th and Sunrise. So I'm just telling you to govern yourselves accordingly, because if you think that, this guy's disappeared and taken up a new area, he just moved 1 block down the road, that's all.
Oh, he's just hiding.
Like he always does.
Yep.
Well, see, and also part of the problem is that he used to hide behind one of the trees there by the canal on Hayes. Well, somebody chopped the tree down, or chopped the way down, so he can't hide there no more. So just like the Beasleys, he found another tree to hang out in.
Live and local, this is 560. The radio's all yours now. WQAM.
Know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
Lined up to see Mel Gibson slip. It's not gonna reach his tail penalty. I think the family didn't want to wind up sick. Pepto-Bismol wouldn't do the trick. Not one high-speed chase. No girls were wearing lace. No bank robbers or special effects, but people pointed to their multiplex. The breaking box office record all across the USA. Peter Jackson's movie was a hit, and Danny's movie for cash until before the ring. Not one high-speed chase. No girls were wearing lace. No bank robbers or special effects, but people pointed to their multiplex.
11:16 at 560 WQAM. Yeah, Mel Gibson, there's the real hero, man. Look out for him.
Oh, God!
False terror warning. What is this all about? Todd says Attorney General John Ashcroft issued a warning in Miami on Wednesday that the terrorists behind the deadly assaults of September 11th are between 75 and 90% complete with their plan for a major attack against the U.S. this year. You know from simple math that 90% of 10 is 9 and 90% of 20 is 18. Do you know what 90% of any unknown number is? No, you can't establish a percentage unless you know the total. Is Ashcroft suggesting he knows the terrorist plan? Good point. Sean in Miami says, I'd like to start a movement to put Ronald Reagan on the $3 bill. Okay. Here's another fact. Boy, they're whipped up today, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I got faxes up the ass here. Just unbelievable. What's this thing about Bill Buckley, who just retired, stepped down from the National Review at the age of 178? Here's a long thing about marijuana. Today we have illegal marijuana for whoever wants it. I think that should be for whomever wants it. A grammatical error by William F. Buckley. Boy, he's slipping, man. An estimated 100 million Americans have smoked marijuana at least once, the great majority abandoning its use after a few highs, but to stop using it does not close off its availability. Yada, yada, yada. We're not going to find someone running for president who advocates reform of these laws. What is required is a genuine Republican groundswell. It is happening ever so gradually. 2 of every 5 Americans, according to a 2003 Zogby poll cited by Dr. Nadelman, believe the government should treat marijuana more or less the same way it treats booze. It should regulate it, control it, tax it, make it illegal only for children. Well, how do you like that, Bill Buckley? Oh! He says the Dutch do it. They do odd things, but here they teach us a lesson. Can you believe this from this right-wing lunatic?
I love it.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Oh, yeah.
Man, free weed for everybody, says Bill Buckley. Anyway. Got an unbelievable article here, if I can find it, because I was printing out a whole bunch of stuff. I was actually, fighting you during the break there. In other words, fighting the faxes you were sending. I'm, trying to print out a bunch of crap, so it all came out. Wait till you hear this one. This will absolutely frost your fat ass. And that takes a lot of frost.
A lot of frost.
Kerry cited in Catholic heresy case. Oh, this is the best! Do we have a lot of crazy people in the U.S. or what?
Yeah.
Wow. Talking about Greg Reed. A Catholic lawyer has filed heresy charges against Senator John Kerry with the Archdiocese of Boston, accusing the Democratic presidential candidate of bringing the most serious scandal to the American public by receiving Holy Communion as a pro-choice Catholic. And I'm sure, of course, he's the only one who does that. You do understand that.
Oh, yeah.
The 18-page document was sent to the Archdiocese June 14th, but released to the public only yesterday by Mark Balistreri, a Los Angeles-based canon lawyer and an assistant judge with the Archdiocese of Los Angeles' Tribunal and Ecclesiastical Court, whatever the hell that is. Heresy is a public ecclesiastical crime, said Mr. Balistreri, 33, whose complaint is posted at, it's got a website, which I'm not going to promote. It affects entire communities. It is one of the greatest sins you can commit. If the Boston Archdiocese, which is refusing comment on the case, decided to press heresy charges, the Massachusetts senator could be excommunicated. How do you like that? I think we need an exorcism for this crazy old bastard.
That the power of Christ compels you!
Unbelievable. My goal is his repentance, not excommunication, Mr. Balistreri said. The charges do not seek monetary damages.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
The Reverend Arthur Espelage, executive coordinator for the Canon Law Society in Alexandria, said a Catholic layman can legitimately bring a case against another layman in a church court. The charge is known in church as a denunciation. Denunciation are similar to a criminal complaint in secular law. That's what we need here at QAM. We need to be able to bring those denunciation charges, right?
Denunciation.
The power of Christ compels you!
But this is really unique. He said, I never heard of a case like this being processed before. The charges must be filed in the diocese where Mr. Carey lives. If the Archdiocese of Boston rejects the case, Mr. Balistreri can appeal it to the Congregation for the Doctrine of Faith, headed by Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger in Roma. Father Espelage said church officials, not politicians, are the ones usually accused of heresy, but this suit may change that. It is as if someone has launched a nuclear missile now, the priest said. I suspect there will be communication between the Boston Archdiocese and the Holy See on this. See?
The power of Christ compels you!
A spokeswoman for Mr. Carey refused comment because the campaign had not seen the document.
The power of Christ compels you!
Mr. Balistreri said he filed a heresy charge plus an additional complaint charging harm to himself as a result of Mr. Carey's pronouncements on abortion and related issues because canon law entitles Catholics to possession of the faith unharmed.
The power of Christ compels you!
By spreading heresy, he is endangering not just mine, but every Catholic's possession of the faith, he said. How do you like this for crap? I'm inviting all baptized Catholics who feel injured by Carey to join the suit as third parties.
The power of Christ compels you!
By reading the document on the website, then sending a certified letter of agreement to the Boston Archdiocese, people are saying you could be pro-choice and a good Christian, that is not contrary to to the faith to support aborted murder, Mr. Balistreri said. This is a life-threatening heresy, he said.
The power of Christ compels you!
Bishops have had 31 years since the Supreme Court made abortion an individual right to do something on this matter, but they've done nothing, he said.
The power of Christ compels you!
Maybe they were too busy molesting altar boys. Charles M. Wilson, director of the St. Joseph Foundation in San Antonio, which has filed numerous complaints in church courts across the country on behalf of Catholic laity, doubts that the Boston Archdiocese will respond to the case.
The power of Christ compels you!
The weak point of a denunciation suit, he said, is that the bishop need not take action. Usually a bishop will first investigate the case and determine whether the charges have substance, Mr. Wilson said. But Archbishop Sean O'Malley of Boston is under no obligation to prosecute the accused. Maybe they can take it to Joey Bishop.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Oh! Man, what I tell you about them crazy religions, man. These are the crazy people, the lunatics, the dangerous people. All over the world. All of it. Every part of it. Anyway, here's one that says, put me down for 25 votes for hiring Mo Howard David, who is still leading. He hasn't pulled away. He hasn't opened up tremendous distance there. Also, how about the QAM auction? There's another good one. I like that. The QAM auction. Got it, Josh?
Got it.
What a scam. What a ripoff. Now, is it over with? Because I heard that it's done.
Yeah, it's all done.
Yeah, it better be done. And not only that, but then they were auctioning off, spend a weekend at Mad Dog's house and go over and shake hands with Joe Rose and talk to him while he's taking a dump. And, just making up all kinds of crap. How much would you pay for that?
Not much.
Another choice should be putting ESPN Radio on Sundays and having that spaz-hole Dan LeBastard on there. He's the worst host and has an awful show. Oh, was Greg Kotex ripping QAM or Joe Rose or somebody this morning? I didn't look at it.
I think he said something nice about Joe.
Did he?
Yeah, nothing bad.
Well, how do you like that? Well, Greg Kotex is still a spaz-hole. Poll question for... Oh, I like that. I like that. Who is... Huh? Who is the biggest... Mo, Gildy, or Dan LeBastard? Boy, somebody really whipped up about that. Oh, here's the new WID lineup. Thank you so much. We don't mind promoting it because it really blows. And we found out who Captain Brian is. Boy, when it comes to radio, man, even though it is a dinosaur and it used to be really great, now it's a piece of crap. We know it. We know our crap on this show. Captain Brian, live 85 morning host. So in other words, he used to be on that piece of turd that they got in Palm Beach. 850 to 1, it's got Bill O'Reilly, and one it's got, I don't know what they got now. The one where you got P.D. Lenny working, and Bob Eisenberg, and little Tom Denenberg is over there, too. Live 85 morning host Captain Brian Freeman arrived in South Florida 4 years ago after spending 15 years in the greater Harrisburg, Pennsylvania media. Wow. Brian has spent the last 3 years covering events for WSBN-TV as well as CNN, ABC, and CBS. Prior to joining the Live 85 news team, Live 85, he was a regular on radio with Y100 and WQAM. Never heard of him. Captain Brian Freeman. Maybe he's kin to Morgan Freeman.
His cousin.
Has won many awards, including the prestigious Miami Air Award. Wow, well, if that's the case, we've been missing out, huh? If somebody would have just told me that. Here's the new WID lineup beginning July 7th. Okay, for those who want to know, we're going to promote all the stations. We don't care. 5 to 9 a.m. Opposite Mo and Joe. Mo and Joe. And the other one. It's South Florida's first news with Captain Brian Freeman. Beginning now, what does that mean? With Paul Harvey at 5:50 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. and trumped at 6:20 a.m. and 8:20 a.m. Oh, brother. Trumped. South Florida's first news. So, in other words, it's a news show? Because I don't listen to them.
Neither do I.
Because I know once upon a time they were supposed to be a news show, a news station, when Clear Channel bought from Paxson. WINZ used to be the all-news station, as you know, with Talk at Night. And then WIOD was the talk station with news, with a real news department. Well, they come along, and, of course, they have to switch it all back and forth. So WIOD was supposed to be the news station, which it's not, because they got a bunch of syndicated talk shows on there all piped in. And now WINZ is Fox 4 940 Sports with their .2 share. 9 to 11:30 a.m. Oh, that's a nice time. The Glenn Beck program. Believe me, 2.5 hours is 2 hours too much. 11:30 to noon. Paul Harvey. Good day. Paul just turned 147. He's still in the basement in Chicago and can't get out. South Florida's midday report. Noon to 3. You know who it is. Pill popping hypocrite. 3 to 6. You got Todd the Schmidtmeister. We got an awful website, by the way. Terrible. Don't go to that website. I think you get like some kind of a virus from it. My computer was all screwed up after I looked on that website for the pictures of our friend, what's her name? Deborah?
Our teacher?
Deborah Lefebvre.
My reading teacher.
Right. 6 to 7 p.m., News Extra, an in-depth look at today's top stories. Paul Harvey's Here's the Rest of the Story at 6:55. 7 to 10 p.m., The Sean Hannity Show beginning July 5th, beginning Monday. All right, if you want to hear some real fascism, there it is. Phil Hendry gets bumped up to 10 o'clock at night to 1 in the morning.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what it says right here, because I know this must have come from P.D. Bolger. And Coast to Coast with George Neary. 1 to 5 a.m. Is that the guy that replaced Crazy Art Bell?
I do not know.
Josh?
Yeah.
You don't listen to Art Bell. He's out of this world, man. You better get with it.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is Air America Radio.
Welcome back to the Al Franken Show. We have a blogger for our guest this hour. Do we? Do we have a blogger? A blogger, yeah. And then I might do my Stuart Smalley bit. Is this the switch here? Okay. Hello, blogger.
Yes, I am a blogger.
Blog.
Blog.
And get this. What else is news? Get it? News.
Well, it is questionable whether or not UPN will renew Enterprise for another season, so I am afraid we may never discover if the Nazi was indeed an alien or a zombie character Roger Corman genre.
Well, looks like we have a break, which is amazing in itself. Is this a strong break or blogger? Can you stay with us?
Yes, it will allow me to pleasure myself to fake pics of Jolene Blaylock.
No.
It's 11:32, 28 till noon at QAM. This fax here, this is, didn't we talk about this yesterday about how the Schmidtmeister is telling people to go to the movies and buy a ticket for White Chicks or some other movie and then sneak in to see Michael Moore? First of all, if it's so bad and so terrible and so full of lies, why do they want to see it anyway? Right?
I don't understand that.
Don't get it. Anyway, this is from Jorge, not our Jorge, but maybe it is. Says it's a shame that radio in South Florida sucks, and in some cases, now this is what really gets me, because he's quoting Schmidtmeister said this, and Schmidtmeister said that. He says, in some cases, this is like the woman that called before and said, we have to listen. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to listen to Phil Henry when you go to... Listen to the John Kerry snooze tape. He says you have to listen to a lot of this stuff. You have no choice. If you listen to these shows, they're all the same. These guys can't come up with an original idea unless Fox News or Rush come up with some other conspiracy that the left has concocted against their fearless leader. But they've never been guilty of such a thing themselves, right? Anyways, Neil, I've been listening to you for about 11 years now, since I was 16. You're the best thing on the air down here. Take care. Says Jorge.
Absolutely correct.
Thanks, Jorge, but we're like a half a step ahead of you as usual, but thank you so much. Thanks for the memories. Here's the Geek in Margate says. Now, this is, I don't get this at all. I realize try to be helpful. It says a CD cleaner is a fluid, usually a spray with a lint-free cloth. A CD player cleaner. Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't talking about a CD cleaner. A CD player cleaner. Oh, geez. Consists of a CD-like disc with brushes and sometimes a wet cleaner. It cleans the CD player lens and is rarely needed. The only time a CD player cleaner is useful is when you stick dirty CDs in your player. Otherwise, almost all skips are due to a defect in the CD itself. No. Because I got two machines here, and if, for example, I got one the other day from Boca Brian, and I tried to play something on the bottom machine, it was like skipping, I put it on the top, no problem. Just fine, right? So if there's a defect in the CD itself, how could that be, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the geek is saying. He's in detail for I don't even know what.
Clean the offending CD with a CD cleaner kit first before using a CD player cleaner. If you damage the CD lens, nothing will play right. Well, we can't afford to do that, because then I'll probably have to buy new equipment myself, because you know these cheap bastards sure as hell aren't. That room you're sitting in right now with your fat ass, Zach, look around you there. Most of the stuff that you see, other than the board and the CD decks, I paid for just about everything. That fax machine there, copier, nice. Mine. The computer, monitor, the TV setup on the wall, they finally got that to replace the one that Jeff Cohen gave us, the TV VCR that was given to us, the satellite dish that doesn't work because they can't get DirecTV on going right. All of these things, either I paid for myself or somebody gave it to us. The refrigerator on the floor, which I'm sure you have your eye on.
Oh, and my hand's in.
Given to us at IOD. The microwave sitting on top of it, same story. So it's kind of like do-it-yourself radio, QM. Yeah, but we're paying him all that money. Whoever heard of such crap, right?
Yeah.
Whoever heard of having like to buy your own crap. At any rate, this poll is just foaming at the mouth. Unbelievable. What do you think Greg Reed, WQAM's general manager's biggest bonehead move in the last 7 years has been? 519 votes in an hour, less than an hour and a half. They are pumped up and pissed off and fired up about this. Hiring Mo Howard David, 108. You're in the lead, Mo, but not home free yet. Breaking up the first team, 96, and of course that's got a lot of votes because that led to so many other multi-problemi. Firing Scott Ferrall, 87. OG at the golf tournament's moving up nicely, 58 into a solid fourth place. Not firing George Rodriguez, 57. Keeping Geldy on the air is all the way up to 40. Oh, brother. Hiring Scott Ferrall, 21. Using Joe Zagacki as a fill-in, 16. They like you, Joe. They realize it's not business. Putting on the Crow, 12. He's moved 2 ahead of me. Hiring Neil Rogers, 10. Yeah, we want that midday sports back. Oh! We won't lose those 2 points over there to Fox Sports. Do you realize the only day part that they have any numbers in midday? They got fractions the rest of the day, and they have a 2-point in midday. You want to know why?
Why?
I don't think it's because Romy is on. Is he that big of a draw?
He's a big draw, but I don't know about, that.
I think it's because we're not doing sports, and so the sports nerds talk about... It's like these people who say, oh, well, I have to listen to this. Why? I don't get it. All of these things, when I'm in South Florida, do I listen to the Schmidtmeister?
No.
Do I listen to Rush?
No.
Do I listen to Captain Howdy or whatever his name was? No. Oh, we have to listen to it. Anyway, putting on the Crow, 12, hiring Neil Rogers, 10, bad mistake. Putting the big on the air, 10. I'm tied with him. Same person, by the way. Putting on the morning crew, 3, and the QM auction we just put on has got 1. I'm sure there's plenty more that we missed, but we'll take some calls. And you notice how we're approaching noon already?
Oh, yeah.
We haven't even broken a sweat yet here today.
I did.
Did you? Well, that's when you're big and fat and huge. Now, how's the food coming?
Well, we got Howie's today.
I thought they came in the morning.
No, they came and just brought us some food.
Oh, they came in special for you guys, huh?
Yeah, they're good guys. Good people.
We love Howie's. They have great food, only I'll never forgive them for the 85 pounds of bacon they brought in that day. Just damn near killed me. That just about did me in.
I'll never forget that day. That was a great... I couldn't believe the package of bacon you got.
And I ate it. I mean, I can't blame anybody else but myself, because only a cow, only a glutton, only a disgusting pig like me would, because you can't stop. You know, you're sitting there, and bacon isn't like all that difficult to eat, you know. And I just kept chawing on it, and the bacon too. And before you know it, I got about 6 pounds of bacon in my gut. And man, you talk about leaky gut! Wow.
It was so good, though, right?
Huh? It was great, but oh man, that leaky gut. 567-0560. And you notice I didn't have to emphasize gut as opposed to, like, say, rectum, because we couldn't have done that.
Very good of you.
WQAM, hello. Not there on line 2. Mark it down for those of you who keep track, who keep score during the show every day. WQAM, hello. Line 1 and 2 in a row. Okay, see, line 1 has the quick cutoff. WQAM, hello.
Can I talk to Neil, please?
Speaking, yes.
Hey,
Speaking.
Neil. I got a suggestion for you, Paul.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we're going to have another terrorist attack before the election. I was just really wondering if it will help Bush or hurt Bush, because I think common sense would dictate it would hurt him, but since when has that come into play over here?
Yeah, common sense. When are we going to find that? Get the search party.
Exactly. And in closing, Georgia is a self-hating stick.
Okay, thanks.
See ya.
Okay, I thought he said he had a suggestion for our poll, and then he was all over the place. He touched all the bases, okay? He touched them all. It was a walk-off home run. I don't think I'll ever recover from that. That's just... And, of course, Dave Van Boring's got poor Josh there brainwashed into believing it. Now, he doesn't say that, does he?
No, him or Boog, actually. I don't believe use it.
Oh, thank God. I always liked that Dave Van Boring. Now, we love Boog. Boog's great. Although, see, and I'm glad I fell into this, because it reminds me before when we played that last promo and I said, boy, that was boring. It isn't so much because Boog isn't boring. He gets very excited. He does a great job. But the clips that they use on the promos, it's like they're searching for the most bland, the most boring crap to play. And is that going to bring anybody out to the ballpark? No. Of course not. You know. Walk off home run my ass. Walk off this. Or walk off some fat time. We like So that's the good news. You won't hear walk-off home run on our Marlin broadcast here on QM, which must be why we had like an almost 8 share at night during the Marlin games. How do you like that? That was pretty heavy duty.
That's right.
Unlike the Panthers, which have like a point. Nothing. At least one good thing, if they ever do play hockey again in the NHL, if the Panthers play another game and Geldy's doing the radio, you don't have to worry about him offending anybody with that squeaky voice, because there ain't nobody listening anyway. 20 till noon at 560 WQM. Pompano Park is going to explode this Friday night as the racetrack kicks off the July 4th weekend with a spectacular fireworks show after last live race this Friday, July 2nd, which sounds like tomorrow to me. It's a family fun night, so bring out the kids. There will be clowns, free face painting, live music, free miniature horse rides, all starting at 7 p.m. Look at the way they spell horse on here. Steve Wolf must be a little off his feet. H-O-U-R-S-E. They must have done that because I'm in Canada, eh? They stuck that O in there. Like honor, H-O-N-O-U-R, labor, L-A, right? Horse rides, H-O-U-R-S-E. There'll be a special early post time tomorrow night at 7:05 p.m. because of the fireworks show. The fireworks show is set to take place at 10:30 tomorrow night. The poker room is open from noon to midnight. Just a half mile from both I-95 and the Turnpike. It's easy to get to Pompano Park, and best of all, they offer you every day free admission, free general parking. Live harness racing and poker room is open every Friday and Saturday. Poker starts at noon, goes on to midnight, which I think I said only moments ago, and live racing gets underway nightly at 7:25 p.m. every Friday and Saturday. Pompano Park, of course, is also open every day, 7 days and nights a week, featuring the best in simulcasting, harness racing, thoroughbred and highlight action from all across North America for you to watch and plunge your guts on. Watch out for Mark Del Questo and Del Campo, and watch out for Bobby Campbell, the professor. I think he's dead. Pompano Park, a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. Call 954-972-2000 for the current race schedule, or check it out online, pompanopark.com. Don't forget a great fireworks show, lots of racing action this weekend at Pompano Park.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Welcome to 60 Minutes and another.
Seated across from me is America's 42nd President, William Jefferson Clinton. He's just written his memoirs, and for the next hour, I'll be asking...
Whoa. Hold up there, Dan. What the hell is going on here, Dan? Where is Leslie Stahl?
Leslie Stahl?
Yeah, where is she? I specifically requested that I be interviewed by Leslie Stahl. Come on, quit playing. Is she hiding somewhere? Come on out, baby. Bill's here.
Sir, I believe Leslie Stahl is on assignment.
Say what? I want Leslie Stahl. She's supposed to wear a sexy little skirt.
A skirt?
Yeah, and no pantyhose.
What?
I like that bare leg look.
Mr. Clinton, Leslie Stahl is not here.
Damn. Well, is there any way I can get Judy Woodruff then?
She works for CNN.
What about Maria Bartiromo?
Mr. Clinton, please.
Paula Zahn?
No.
Soledad O'Brien?
No.
Carol Costello?
No.
Deborah Norville?
No.
Christy Musumeci?
No.
Nora O'Donnell?
Nope.
Ashley Banfield?
No can do.
Campbell Brown?
Not gonna happen.
What about that hot blonde chick from Fox News?
Oh, you mean Lori Dew?
Yeah, her. Oh, man, I'd like to Lori do her.
Please, Mr. Clinton.
Fine, you win.
I'm glad you've finally come to your senses.
Just bring me Greta Van Susteren in a paper bag.
Mr. President, that's enough. None of those women even work for 60 Minutes.
All right. I know when I'm beat. I guess I'll have to settle for a fifth of Jack Daniels and Andy Rooney.
11:47, 13 till noon. Bad news, Del Iraq. As former dictator Saddam Hussein faces his countrymen in an Iraqi court, there was new violence today as two separate bomb attacks killed 5 Iraqi civilians in Baghdad. Another attack left a multinational soldier dead near Mosul. We don't know where he's from yet, but he's dead. More bad news, Del Iraq. Here's a fax that says, hey, Neil, Norma Kent is also on Live 85, or as he calls it, the Nifty 850. How sad. What a schmuck, it says. He's on Saturdays 10 to noon, just before Depot, the Pauly Man, and Dave Gurgles Gurgley. And that awful trivia show. Oh, man. It says, I remember when that piece of Schmidt was on QAM. It's still the same piece of Schmidt. All those three jackasses do is make jokes and laugh like hyenas, and Depot still does his corny one-liners. Oh, poor Depot. Poor us. Although he was very popular. We done polls on this, and the audience liked Depot a lot. I'm not really sure why, but they liked him. Like Zach. He likes corn, right?
Of course.
Anything you can eat. Anything you can eat, Zach likes it. And Zach, I'm sure since you're Josh don't know from hockey at all, right? You ever go to a hockey game?
Sure.
Really? Free tickets, right?
No, they got a nice bar in there.
Oh, okay. Big hockey news here in Toronto, eh? For our 4 Maple Leaf fans out there, if there's going to be a season. Think there's going to be a season? No. But anyway, Leafs signed Joe Nieuwendyk, Gary Roberts, defenseman Aki Berg, I'm not too sure about that last one, and Eddie the Beagle, Ed Bell, for a 3-year, $22 million contract. He'll be 175 by the time his contract expires, and the betting here is that he'll probably expire before the contract does. How do you like that? So we wrapped up Eddie the Beagle, Gary Roberts, and Joe Nieuwendyk.
Good
Can I say Nieuwendyk? There's a street in Amsterdam called Nieuwendyk. In fact, there's probably like a lot of dikes on it. A lot of dikes in Holland, you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
I like that.
That's why Janet Reno likes staying out there. O'Reilly's no-spin control prompts guests to cry foul. I love this article so much I'm going to read it. You notice I haven't read these long articles here today because I don't want to get you into a coma? Maybe that's why you're so quiet this week. Snoozing off during all of this, reading all these bedtime stories?
No.
Yes. When he appeared on Bill O'Reilly's Fox News Channel show last week, Georgetown law professor David Cole was impressed that the hard-charging host played as part of his opening commentary a balanced soundbite from the chairman of the 9/11 Commission. Cole was less impressed when an aggravated O'Reilly stopped the taping of the O'Reilly Factor and killed the soundbite. And when Cole brought up this incident during the interview, he says O'Reilly exploded, called him an SOB, and declared he would never be invited back. O'Reilly says a left-wing academic is using a minor staff mistake to try to discredit the program. We're trying to be fair, he said. We're trying to give the other point of view so people can see who has the stronger argument. It's really depressing that the discourse has sunk to this level. What a jackass. The heated words, which were edited out of the program seen by viewers, involved O'Reilly's criticism of the New York Times and its coverage of the controversy over whether there were links between Saddam Hussein and Al-Qaeda. In kicking off what he called no-spin coverage of the issue, O'Reilly began the show by saying that the Times and other newspapers have been under heavy fire for their misleading headlines, basically saying there was no link between Iraq and Al-Qaeda. As Cole listened from Washington, the program played a clip of Commission Chairman Thomas Keynes saying, "There is no evidence that we can find whatsoever that Iraq or Saddam Hussein participated in any way in attacks on the United States, in other words, on 9/11. What we do say, however, is there were contacts between Iraq and Saddam Hussein, Al-Qaeda." O'Reilly complained this one was the wrong soundbite. In retaping the commentary, he paraphrased one of Keynes' points, but not the other one. Governor Thomas Keynes says definitely there was a connection between Saddam and Al-Qaeda, and he's the 9/11 investigative chief, but that's not enough for the New York Times. I was sort of astonished he would do it so brazenly in front of guests, says Cole, an activist attorney who has challenged the USA Patriot Act in court. O'Reilly calls it totally absurd, the suggestion that he cut the soundbite because it didn't fit my thesis. A producer had simply selected a clip that wasn't right for the segment, he says. Right. But Cole says here he is castigating the New York Times for misleading its readers, and he was misleading his viewers. I wish the show had been live because I'd love for his viewers to see what he was up to. What viewers saw was a lively debate among O'Reilly, Cole, and Mark Jacobson, an Ohio State instructor who helped shape the Pentagon's policy on Guantanamo Bay prisoners. The only clue that there was a blow-up at the end of the interview when Cole was asked to leave is that O'Reilly didn't thank his guest, ending the segment instead with a closing comment. "We make mistakes because we bring in people who are trying to cause trouble," he says of Cole. "I thought he was a rational person." Cole was just getting started. He discussed the matter on the Air America radio show of commentator's most vocal critic, Al Franken. He also submitted an op-ed piece about the incident to several news organizations, including the Washington Post, and still hopes it'll be published. O'Reilly sees this as a part of a pretty well-organized campaign on the left to monitor his television and radio shows. He said in an appearance on the O'Reilly Factor last week by John Podesta, former chief of staff in the Clinton White House, who now heads a liberal think tank called Center for American Progress. Podesta complained that you compare Bill Moyers to Mao Zedong. You say that's a joke. You compare Al Franken to Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propagandist. That was Michael Moore, by the way, said O'Reilly, adding that such comments were often satirical. I said that Michael Moore is a propagandist, and so is Joseph Goebbels. Then I explained what propaganda is. It's a two-way street here, buddy, Podesta said at one point. You do all this all the time. You label people, you smear people. O'Reilly also cites what he calls a false claim by Moore in publicizing his film Fahrenheit 9/11 that O'Reilly had banned him after a contentious interview. The host insists that's not the case, and typical of his liberal detractors. They're trying to say that we're liars, says O'Reilly. If you can't beat him, slime him. And they don't come any slimier than Bill O'Reilly, who's no factor in this market. None. It's the no factor. He does have that point, too, though, the point, too. I'm impressed.
Very impressive.
Here's the deal. What do you think of Greg Reed, WQAM's general manager, biggest bonehead move in the last 7 years? We've got, I think we'll do 1,000 today. 597. Before we get to noon, we'll be over 600 vote. We might have a shot at 1,000, you think?
I think we will.
Got a shot. Right, Jimmy, we got a shot. I think Jimmy ought to be shot, at least in the toe. What a jackass. There's another one. Guy who talked big, talked trash about poor Shoesmeister, the brainstem, got his ass canned, and then came to South Florida talking all kinds of crap. We got a shot. We got a shot. But again, they let him off easy. They let him off the hook. How come they weren't just trashing him just brutally, mercilessly, just like they do Wanstead, who deserves it? But how come Jimmy Johnson didn't get it like that?
Because he was Jimmy Johnson.
They liked his hairdo, was that it? Or maybe because they remembered all those great years with U of M. Maybe they remembered that great Fiesta Bowl in Arizona. Anyway, hiring Mo Howard David, 126, they say. Greg's biggest bonehead move, 126. But breaking up the first team, 106, right on Mo's ass. Firing Scott Ferrall. Now, let me ask you that. No, I haven't heard anybody mention recently. He's not still picking his ass in the station, is he?
Who's that?
Mo.
I have not seen that lately.
Don't you remember those days? In fact, you were one of the ones who was bitterly complaining about it. You were going to file some kind of a lawsuit. Oh. Or maybe it was the Beast. I'm sorry. It wasn't Zach. It must have been the Beast.
There you go.
Breaking up the first team, 106. Firing Scott Ferrall, 97. We want him back. OJ at the golf tournament's moving up tremendously, 71. That was below and underneath the Call of Duty. That was disgusting. Not firing George Rodriguez, 65. They love picking on little George, especially when he's not here. Keeping Geldy on the air, 44, sweetheart. 44. They hate you. Hiring Scott Ferrall, 25. Using Josie as a fill-in, 20. Putting on the Crow, 15. Putting the Big on the air, 14. Hiring Neil Rogers, 10. Putting on the Morning Crew, 4. And a QM Auction, 3 out of 606. 606, not bad. We'll do it. Don't forget, Howard Stern comes to the Buzz in Palm Beach. Let's promote the hell out of it, right? Let's promote all the other stations since we're doing so well. Let's spread the greatness around.
The wealth.
Right?
Spread the wealth.
Spread the wealth, spread the prosperity all around. Got 8 Live 85. We got Captain Chucky or Brian or whatever the hell that guy's name is in the morning. You got Sean Hannity there, all you Nazis out there. 7 to 10 tonight, followed by Phil Henry.
Are you sure?
Another good Nazi. Who totally sold out. Don't forget, look for the QM van right now. Now, how long is it going to be there? It doesn't say.
Forever.
No. Look for the QM van at the Shell station just west of I-95 on Sheridan Street. I bet you, is Miguel out there with that thing or what?
I'm not sure. I thought I saw Miguel in here before.
He was there earlier, but maybe he's there. Well, you have to go out there and see for yourself.
Yeah, he's out there.
He's out there. Miguel is there. He's waiting on you. Just west of 95 on Sheridan Street. In fact, then you can stop by and see where we used to broadcast in the Paxson building. And you can also go to the Cox building and say goodbye to Cheryl, who's leaving WIOD and Cox Broadcasting. Stop by and pick up a pair of tickets to see the Marlins and the Devil Rays tomorrow night. Free. Just stop by and say, I'll take them. I want them. And join QM and the Marlins tonight at the Dave & Buster's off Sheridan Street in 95. Stop by for prizes from Billy the Marlin and the Mermaids. A Marlins watch party. Don't forget to turn your watch ahead to the first. At 7 o'clock tonight at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Coach Don Schuler, and I sound like Bob Hope on acid. And I want to tell you, it's the 12 to 1 hour or whatever it is.
Oh, finally got a call here. The number one rated Mohammed and David in the show. At least according to my aspirations. Stay away from me. I don't even know how you have children. Miramar, hello.
Yes, I want to take on Jay Fiedler.
Oh, well, Jay Fiedler is a great quarterback and a good Jew.
I like Jay Fiedler.
Well, not to mention he's got extraordinarily smooth buttocks.
Oh, yeah!
You've got to be careful what you say here.
Oh, TikTok. Thank you, Mom.
No, wait a minute. Don't go.
But I have nothing else to say.
How about this? How's the weather down there in the Miramar?
I'm right down the street from you.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go.
Oh, wait. By the way, son.
No, I have to go.
Look, I tell you what. I'll hold you over a break. How's that? Huh? I'll give you one of my old tank T-shirts. How's that? No, wait. That was the only caller we had.
The veins on your nose is glowing again. You got big purple veins on your nose and on your face, and around those oozing pimples you call eye. If you go look in the mirror, you'll see a roadmap of Ypsilanti. You got your hippies on, way to
My nose glows when something stings. Almost every day I think. And my veins, they start to tickle. My adenoid, yeah, I look like I'm falling apart. That's because I'm a crazy old fire. When it goes gets filled with purple veins. Something like that you ought to see. And science channel discovery. Now you know that the bleeding purple veins.
I got another one. Another one for the poll. What do you got? Leaving sports on the air for an hour after the World Trade Center attacks. Could you do a much more bonehead thing than that?
What can we say about it? All we know is sports. What can we say about it? Let's just talk sports.
Leaving that little twerp and his boyfriends on there for an hour. Until finally somebody, Muff or somebody, finally confabulated and called for psychiatric, got popped a few pills, and then said, I guess we better put Neil on and do something. How do you like that? That could have been the lowest point in the history of this radio station that day. Even lower than when the two live Jews owned the station. What the hell were their names? That was the Sunshine Wireless. Isn't that what used to own this piece of crap?
I believe so.
Yeah, before Beasley bought it, Sunshine Wireless. And they had country music on, right? They had Country Kiss. They were playing country on FM and simulcasting country on AM. That was pretty bright.
Sounds productive.
Yeah. Fahrenheit 9/11 to become first imported documentary in China.
Oh, my God.
Michael Moore's provocative anti-Bush documentary, Fahrenheit 9/11, is likely to become the first imported documentary in China. Sources indicate there's a strong possibility some of the violent scenes will be cut, like that head that was cut at Chop Chop Square, if Fahrenheit 9/11 is screened in China. Not that, you understand, not that they censor things. They're kind of like Blockbuster. They just want you to see what they think you ought to be able to see, and that's it. Same deal. And now you know what the right-wingers are going to say. See, it's commie pinko propaganda. Even the chinks are going to be showing it. That's what they're going to say. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Food from Howard. You already eating it in the background there or what?
We're pretty much done.
I'll tell you one thing. Zach learned from me, man. Nobody can eat a gigantic meal on the air without anybody knowing it like me. I mean, I could eat probably 60, 70 pounds of food. Nobody would even know it.
Just a grilled chicken sandwich for me today.
With the bread?
With, yes, on a hoagie.
Oh, on a hoagie? Do you have any idea now? Are you diabetic?
I am not.
Yet. Well, you better savor the taste of that bun, mister, okay?
I'm trying.
Better savor it. Roll your tongue around your bicuspids a little bit if there are any, like, crumbs left in there. In case Josh Friedman didn't get them first. Because the day's coming, man. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I don't want to sound like the voice of doom and gloom. It's a holiday weekend. I want everybody to be in a great mood. But I'm just telling you right now, as a fat old diabetic myself, it ain't no fun, mister. So what did you need the bun for? What did you need a hoagie?
I just had it was like a sandwich.
Yeah. Well, how about a sandwich without the bread? You got to learn how to do that.
It wouldn't be a sandwich then.
Oh, yeah, it sure would. Like when you go to Wendy's. In fact, a lot of the Wendy's will even do it, they'll do it for you. They just put the sandwich in the tinfoil. They wrap the tinfoil around without the bun, and you use the tinfoil as like a holder. Like in Germany, where they give you the bratwurst on those little tiny buns. In fact, some places in Germany, like in Berlin, they don't even put it on the bun. They put the bun next to it. And what the Germans do is they eat a piece of the bread, then they take a piece of the meat, and they get you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They smear it in the mustard, and that's it. So if you're a fat diabetic like me, you just throw the bun away and just eat that nice meat, that good bratwurst. And that's what you ought to be thinking about right now. Say goodbye to bread. Bread sucks. Who the hell cares about bread, right?
Yeah.
Although I did have dinner last night at a fine Italian restaurant, and I did have 2 slices of bread with butter. It was pretty good. 5670560, pound 560. Just remember, okay, Zach, don't do as I do as I say. Keep that in mind. Right?
I'm taking
like the Bushmeister would say, don't do as we do, the Nazi Bund, just do as we say, or else. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Pretty good?
Well, real quick, I love bread, but anyway. I saw Fahrenheit twice, and just wanted to say, like, Richmond, I didn't get to it when your poll came out, but I just was kind of shocked looking at the poll that you did on, what was your take on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Over half of the people that responded to your poll had not seen it yet. I just thought it was kind of shocking for your audience. People that
but that was Monday. I mean, it was only out 2 or 3 days up until Monday.
3 days. Well, when I went on a Sunday afternoon in Dead Community Retirement Tamarack, every show was sold out on a Sunday afternoon.
Right.
3 o'clock to 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think you make a good point. I think we'll repeat that poll tomorrow, because I'm looking for easy poll suggestions this week. We'll do it again tomorrow, because now they've had a whole week to digest it and see it and whatever, and we'll put a few other choices on there, but we'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, and the other thing is, as I watch the movie sometimes, I'm not, for people that didn't see it, don't listen, but when you had the lady who asked for something about it, at first I was watching going, all right, Mike, it's getting a little over the top. But then I thought about it. This woman called Michael Moore. This woman obviously not see this movie before it was made. This woman wanted the country to see grievance toward this government and toward the military action.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just heard a lot of people going, oh, it was a little over the top. It was a little biased. It was a little, yeah, you know what it was. But it reinforces the question, what the hell are we doing there? And our own government, our own inquiries, our own judicial boards, our own investigations already come out and said there's no links, and we're still there. I don't
still
grasp
lying
it.
through our teeth, right.
And why in the hell are we 48% to 48% on this election right now on the polls? I don't grasp it. I get so fired up at this.
Yeah, but wait till Kerry wakes up, man. Then you're going to see some action.
He sure is hell better. Neil, keep on talking. Love you, man.
Thanks a lot, Pally.
Bye-bye.
You know what I do like is a good onion roll. I mean, I try to convince myself that I don't like bread. I'm not crazy about bread. Like in Fatso, he says, you love bread. I like bread, but you love bread. Remember that scene you didn't see, Fatso?
I love bread.
You don't like a nice piece of garlic bread?
Oh, yeah, I love garlic bread. And I like black bread. Right? Rye bread.
White bread?
No. White bread is poison, man. Now, if you're eating white bread, in that case, I'm really going to get pissed off.
No, I don't eat white bread.
Don't forget, Wonder Bread will kill you 7 different ways. That is garbage. It's nothing but sugar. It's like sugar water. White flour, man, that's all it is. Just crap. In addition to which, if you're diabetic, you can actually eat a little bit of rye bread or black bread because the dark bread doesn't send your blood sugar soaring the way that the other things like that hoagie roll that you ate. Man, your blood sugar right now is probably about 545.
Probably why I'm twitching right now.
Yeah, that's why his body is twitching. Kind of like Pilar on Passions. She's twitching. Poor Pilar. She's the one that keeps praying all the time, and yet all the bad things seem to happen to her. I wonder if there's a message in that.
Neil, God!
Yeah, you don't watch Passions, though, because you're too much of a guy, just like the same reason you don't play slot machines, so you wouldn't have won that $2 million in Vegas like that guy did at the Wheel of Fortune.
I'll play slots if it makes me...
That whole baloney about, you guys are so easy. Oh, no, real men play craps. Real men play blackjack. Real men go to the sports book and plunge their guts. I've done all of those things. But if I'm going to go and throw my money away, I'm going to go doing it and do what I enjoy doing it, right?
Absolutely.
It's like if you go into a restaurant and say, oh, well, the best thing on the menu here is whatever, is choice A. But I don't like choice A. I'd like choice C. And maybe I'm one of only 10% of the people coming here who like that. What do I care? It's like those people the people giving me crap about my taste in music. So I'm an old fuddy-duddy fart. But that's the music I like. I got a pretty good taste in music for an old fart, not for a young punk. Just like when I hear them playing that rap crap on the rejoins there, and then Joe is going, hey, all you guys are secretly like, no, I don't like it. I don't know anybody who wants to hear Vanilla Ice ever again. I might like a little Vanilla Ice. I like those Italian ices pretty good on a hot day.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cool off. Right?
Cherry.
See if we can agree on it. Do you like Vanilla Ice?
Absolutely.
Get out of here. Crazy person. That's music?
No.
Swill. At any rate, what the hell am I rambling about? Killing some good time here, though, today. I'm really proud of it. The WhiteHouse.com pornography website, which poked fun at its government namesake with parody sections about first ladies and interns, has been stripped of all political references. How do you like that?
Oh, my God.
Its owner, Dan Parisi. I wonder if he's related to J.P. Parisi. He used to be big in the NHL.
Could be.
Dan Parisi. Do you remember J.P. Parisi?
Sure.
You don't know Ed Belfour. You don't know Joe Newendike. You don't know from Gary Roberts.
I know the first two.
Do you?
Newendike, yeah.
And Eddie Belfour.
And Eddie Belfour, yes.
You don't know Gary Roberts?
Gary Roberts, I do not know.
Number 7?
Oh, that Gary Roberts.
Toronto Make Believes?
Now I remember.
Perpetually injured, just like Joe Newendike? Just like Owen Nolan? Perpetually injured?
Owen Nolan?
You don't know Owen Nolan, number 11? Make Believes, formerly San Jose Sharks?
That's right, I forgot.
Let's do some hockey talk! Not. Its owner, Dan Parisi of New York, agreed to the changes to comply with a recent ruling by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, granting his website a potential trade. See, what I'm trying to do is I realize the summer schedule starts on Monday, so I've only got now less than 6 hours left before I go into that almost being invisible kind of mode. And I'm sure that Eric will put the summer schedule on there if and when he ever gets around to it, when he gets done with his feedings, right?
Sometime soon.
Right. So, in other words, I have a lot of talking to do between now and to the end of the show tomorrow, because then it's like bye-bye for a while. I mean, Tuesday and Thursday I show up and do the show a couple days a week, but that's almost like not even being around, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
I think you should grab line 6. Looks like
Why is that?
Looks like it's been on hold for over 2 hours now.
What do you mean it's been on hold?
Or whatever.
WQAM?
How you doing, Neil?
Pretty good. You've been calling for 2 hours?
Yeah, well, I came up with a poll, so I wanted to put my suggestion.
Oh, well, thank you again. You're right. Good. Zach must be psychic. The
whole Joe and Mark fiasco.
Joe and Mark. Firing Joe and Mark. Excellent choice.
Okay,
and thanks
Neil.
again for this is a fabulous poll.
Okay, I have a question about Howard Stern. What's to stop this guy, whoever filed the complaint with the FCC, from doing it again?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
And even though he may not live in Palm Beach County, which we know he doesn't, he can always sit around in a hotel room in Boca or whatever, or in his car, and make tapes and take notes, because that's the kind of crap that these people do. So good luck to them. They'll need it.
Okay, Neil, take care.
Thanks, pal.
Bye.
Great pool. Firing Joe and Mark. You got it? My good friend Joe Costello and a very good guy, Mark Eisenberg, who didn't belong on the air, but a good guy. We got so many of those around, good guys who just don't belong on the air.
And local. This is Sports Radio 560.
And now, a word from Howard Dean's wife.
Hi, hello there. I'm Dr. Judith Steinberg, wife of presidential candidate Howard Dean. You can call me Judy, not Judge Judy. That's a different miscut. People want to know why I'm hardly ever on campaign trail with Howie. Hey, did you get a good look at me in Iowa? I scare the crap out of myself. I make Ferrall Tabitz and I look like a Shayna Poonam. Stop me if I'm bombarding you with too much Yiddish, huh? Anyway, Howie says after I showed up, his numbers drop it. Know what I say? That's a bunch of mishigas. For those of you who don't capiche the Yiddish, that means crap. Howie's a good guy, though he's what you might call a loose cannon. He's got a pretty bad temper on him. I remember one time, one of our kids left the cap off of the toothpaste. I thought he was going to blow a gasket. The veins popped out in his head, and that white spit strings were going in the corners of his mouth. He went Meshuggah. I spent 23 years with this Shagets. Most of the time he's a mensch, but on occasion, I hate him. I think my husband Howie would make for a very good president. One of the things I'm a little PO'd about is that Howie doesn't let us have a TV. I want to watch Sex in the City, I got to schlep down to campaign headquarters or to the Kroger's to watch on some tiny black and white set. I have never seen any program in color, so I'm no Jackie Kennedy. Hell, if you look at me, I'm no Ted Kennedy. I don't wear makeup. I'm like a whisker away from being Amish. Don't expect to see much more of me during the campaign. The only reason I'm addressing you today is because I was able to chew through my restraints. Anyway, Gazakazont. That's Yiddish for Dr. Judith Steinberg. Over and out.
Paid for by the committee to elect John Kerry president.
12:18 at 560 WQAM. That was one of the best things Kerry did. I'll tell you that right now.
What's that?
Is sponsor that ad. Once we saw Dr. Judy Dean, it was enough to make you scream. Howard Dean, the former Democratic presidential hopeful who attracted legions of liberal followers before his bid fizzled out, will debate independent presidential candidate Ralph Nader for 90 minutes July 9th before a studio audience. I can't wait to see that. Let's see, July 9th is what? A week from tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Next Friday. National Public Radio's weekly program, Justice Talking, is sponsoring the debate, and correspondent Margot Adler will moderate. I wonder if she's kin to Marty Adler at Windsor Raceway. Dean has been urging his supporters not to back Nader, but to stay within the Democratic fold and vote for Senator John Kerry of Massachusetts. Yeah! If he ever wakes up. I'm anxious to debate Ralph Nader in order to speak about why he wants to run for president, Dean said in a statement. This is the most important election in my lifetime, and a third-party candidate could make a difference this November and for years to come. Many Democrats, of course, blame Nader for Al Gore's 2000 defeat. We don't want to blame Drew Lieberman. We don't want to blame Jeb Bush and Catherine Harris and Teresa Lepore and Pat Buchanan. It's a lot easier to blame Ralph Nader, which he's got a big part. And you idiots that voted for Nader, shame on you, you maniacs, you lunatics. God. People are, something, those people that voted for Nader in Florida in 2000 and anywhere else in the country, but especially in Florida, they have blood on their hands. This is an opportunity to discuss how to reinvigorate our democracy by providing voters with more choices and voices rather than our anemic two-party corporate duopoly, Nader said in a statement. And speaking of Nader, see, I'm getting a little bit newsy now.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that's okay. We've diddled around long enough. Now it's time to save the world.
Let's do it.
Efforts by two conservative groups to help President Bush by getting independent presidential candidate Ralph Nader on the ballot in a key battleground state, Oregon, prompted a complaint to the Federal Elections Commission yesterday by a liberal watchdog group.
All right.
Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, CREW, said phone banks encouraging Bush supporters to attend a Nader-nominated convention last Saturday amounted to an illegal in-kind contribution to the Nader campaign by the Oregon Family Council, code for right-wing Nazis, and Oregon Citizens for a Sound Economy. Bush's re-election campaign and the Oregon Republican Party were also named in the complaint for allegedly participating in the effort. The complaint alleges the groups worked together to promote Nader and siphon potential votes away from Senator John Kerry. Melanie Sloan, executive director of CREW, said the two groups, though non-profit, are still considered corporations, and corporations are strictly prohibited from making contributions to political campaigns. Let me say it again. Corporations are strictly prohibited from making contributions to political campaigns. No se permite aquí. Got it?
Yep.
Now, you speak fluent Spanish, don't you?
Sure I do.
While the Bush campaign had no immediate comment, Nader spokesman Kevin Zeese called the allegations absolute nonsense. He said Zeese is a bunch of crap. We didn't work with any Republican groups or any corporations or nonprofits trying to get these people to come to our events, Zeese said. We reached out to our constituency and get our people out, et cetera, and so on. To get on the ballot, the Nader campaign has to get the signatures of 1,000 registered voters in one day or submit 15,000 signatures statewide. On Saturday, Nader supporters held a convention in Portland to try to get the necessary signatures, while more than 1,100 people attended. The signatures are still being verified, so it's unclear if the effort was successful. I hope that Howard Dean tears him an ass next Friday. Won't that be great?
That would be nice.
Howard Dean, and of course now he's got nothing to lose, so he can just go nuts.
We're going to South Carolina, and Oklahoma, and Arizona, and North Dakota, and New Mexico. We're going to California, and Texas, and New York. And we're going to South Dakota, and Oregon, and Washington, and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
What's not to like, right? I did do the break at 10 after, didn't I?
You did.
Oh. Boy, I must be losing it. I didn't cross it out. I get really panicky if I don't cross it out. I think, geez, are we getting way behind like that? Of course, if we get way behind, then it's good, because then we do like 2 breaks back to back.
All right.
Churchgoers get direction from the Bush campaign.
Oi! Oi!
The Bush-Cheney re-election campaign has sent a detailed plan of action to religious volunteers across the country, asking them to turn over church directories to the campaign, distribute issue guides in their churches, and persuade their pastors to hold voter registration drives. How do you like that?
Oh, my God.
Campaign officials said the instructions are part of an accelerating effort to mobilize President Bush's base of religious nut supporters. They said the suggested activities are intended to help churchgoers rally support for Bush without violating tax rules that prohibit churches from engaging in partisan activity. Oh, they wouldn't do that, would they? No. Pat Robertson wouldn't be doing that. Jerry Falwell wouldn't be doing that. Jimmy Swaggart wouldn't be doing that. Jim and Tammy Faye wouldn't do that back in the day, right? No.
Nope.
And, of course, don't forget Paul and Jan Crotch. We strongly believe that our religious outreach program is well within the framework of the law, said Terry Holt, spokesman for the Bush-Cheney campaign. But tax experts said the campaign is walking a fine line. Here we go again. These are the people that brought morality and ethics back to Washington. A fine line between permissible activity by individual congregants and impermissible activity by congregations. Supporters of John Kerry, they always say the presumptive Democratic nominee, what kind of crap, charged that the Bush-Cheney campaign is luring churches into risking their tax status. I think it is sinful of them to encourage pastors and churches to engage in partisan political activity and run the risk of losing their tax-exempt status, said Steve Rosenthal. Sounds like a yid to me.
Boy!
Chief Executive Officer of America Coming Together, a group working to defeat Bush. Steve Rosenthal. Got it?
Got it.
I wonder if he's kin to Mike Rosenthal.
Oh, it's a mistake. You made a mistake. The Hurricanes are ahead 4-2. You made a mistake.
You don't know Mike Rosenthal, do you?
Nope.
Well, if you talk to the Beast, he'll fill you in. He'll give you all the details on Mike Rosenthal. You probably know J. Rokeach, though.
I do.
There you go. They both just turned 80, and they're still doing their thing. Rosie is still out there keeping score at all the Hurricane games, and J. Rokeach is still doing his PA there. Oh, brother. Isn't that something?
Love it.
Of course, I guess if you were the heir to the Rokeach pickle fortune, you wouldn't have to worry about it either.
Ooh.
He's part of that family. Did you know that?
I did not.
Well, you've had Rokeach pickles, haven't you?
I don't think. Maybe.
Get out of here. When you go to the supermarket, you've been in Publix, you've been in Winn-Dixie, I hope not. You've been in Publix, like I said.
It's my favorite place.
And you go, now, aren't you into pickles? Be careful now.
I do like pickles.
Well, sure, who don't like a dill pickle? Even Josh, even a goy like him likes pickles, right?
Yeah.
Sure, what's not to like? And if you look, Rokeach is a very popular brand of pickles. And that's where J. Rokeach, that's his family. See, so you learned something already today. Who said that you can't learn on this show? Tell that Mo bastard.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Very educational, the show.
It is a very educational show. We learned all kinds of crap today. I learned how to clean my CD player.
And your CD.
Right, and also how to clean a CD. Oh, that was scary. I mean, I may be a little bit slow, but Jesus, God almighty. Prescription drug makers rip off Americans. Well, as if we don't know.
What's new?
Drug makers raised prescription prices by nearly triple the rate of inflation in the first 3 months of this year, just before Medicare began its pharmacy discount card program, negating much of the savings the government promised to seniors, according to an AARP survey released yesterday. How do you like the old bait and swish? It's kind of like the betting thing we talk about in the dollar mattress spot. You know, they double the price, and they say, hey, we're giving you 50% off. What a deal. Prices rose by 3.4% among the top 200 name brand drugs, while inflation in general was only 1.2% in the first quarter. It tracked the prices pharmaceutical companies charge drug wholesalers. Most of the top 10 selling drugs increased more than the average, led by Bristol Myers Squibb's Plavix, which I take. Oh, my God. How do you like that? They're just going after me. First it was Howard Stern, now it's me.
Oh, boy.
That's what they're doing. The price of the blood thinner. The price of the blood thinner, and it's already expensive as hell, the price of the blood thinner increased by 7.9%, the 35 million member AARP said. How am I going to afford to keep my blood thin if they keep goosing it? Merck & Company raised the price of Fosamax for osteoporosis by almost 5%, while the most popular forms of Celebrex, a pain reliever, and cholesterol-reducing Lipitor, both made by Pfizer, increased by 5% and 4.6% respectively. Manufacturers are offsetting discounts with prices that are higher than they otherwise would have been, John Rother, AARP's policy director, said at a news conference. In other words, they rip it off your ass. They give you a big song to dance, a big promise, oh, we're going to give you a discount card, yada, yada, and then they goose it up. And then you get the discount, so it's right back where it was in the first place, and maybe a little bit higher, just to make sure. How's our pool coming now? I wonder if Joe and Mark are going to get much action on here, you think?
Probably not.
Now, why do you say that?
Because it's almost like old news to a point here, to listeners.
Well, the O.J. golf tournament wasn't old news?
Well, you're real fired up about that.
Hiring Mo Howard-David isn't old news. I mean, you can't get much older than Mo. That's the amazing thing, is that I'm a year older than he is, and yet somehow I look at him as a stodgy old fart. I don't understand that. Well, maybe it's because he's a stodgy old fart with a bad hairpiece. Anyway, hiring of Mo Howard-David, 147. They can't touch you, Mo. Breaking up the first team, 121. Firing Scott Ferrall, 106. O.J. at the golf tournament's moving up fast, 92. We hate you for that, Greg. You and Screw Ann and that bitch, the water Nazi. We hate all three, okay? We hope that somebody poisons your sushi. Or at least pees on it. Not firing George Rodriguez, 76. Keeping Geldy on the air, 50. He's slowly but surely climbing that ladder to despair. Hiring Scott Ferrall, 26. Using Joe Zagacki as a fill-in, 23. Putting the big on the air, 22. Putting the crow on the air, 18. Talking sports on the air for an hour after 9/11, 16. That's going to move up big. Hiring Neil Rogers, 13. I got lucky at 13, like Matt Sundin and Dan Marino. Putting the crow on the air, 5. The QM auction, 3. And poor Joe and Mark only got 3, firing Joe and Mark.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. WQAM.
Michael bought voodoo spells. A bigger nut than David Wells. His cheese slid off his shells. That's Michael. This crazy nut has gone too far. He drives a fat man bumper car. He has sex with a Cuban cigar. That's Michael Jackson. It's been relaxing with some more kid spooned up next to this freak. He spent 150 G's to bring DreamWorks out to its knees. Should have bought a nose so he could sneeze. Oh, please.
That's my nose.
He's such a lunatic.
That's not nice.
Mentally unbalanced and sick. And I bet he's got a little wick. Yeah.
12:32, 28 till 1. I don't think we're going to do that Fahrenheit 9/11 poll. I just was inspired by something I saw on TV.
Okay.
It was an ad for one of those compilation CDs, music CDs, and Brian Wilson was on it. They showed a clip of Brian and Carl Wilson.
The old Beach Boy?
And Carl Wilson's the dead Beach Boy, or one of them anyway. And I was thinking, who's the most dead or alive, tragic celebrity of all time? Because Brian Wilson to me, I mean, even with all his success and all his brilliance in writing all of that music and making the music and once in a while touring when he wasn't in bed with his teddy bear, Tragic. And then, of course, his relationship with Carney Wilson, and she ballooned up to even bigger than Zach, which is saying a lot. But George was telling me last week she's ballooning up again. She's pulling with Josh Friedman. She lost all of that weight. Now, didn't she also? Because I saw her on Biography a couple weeks ago. Didn't she do the liposuction or no? She did the stomach stapling or one of those things. Yeah.
She lost a whole bunch of weight.
Oh my God, about 1,000 pounds.
About 30, man.
30,000 pounds. And now, after looking really slim and trim, the rumor I'm hearing is she's like porking up again.
She found the fridge.
Yeah. Just like Sarah in Requiem, she found the key to the fridge. You saw that, right?
Oh, that movie scares me so much.
And why is that?
When the ending of that movie. Oh, God. The music freaks me out.
Yeah. And Miguel said he didn't like it. Does that tell you how one-dimensional he is? I mean, because Fidel wasn't in it. There were no Cubans in it. There were probably a few Ricans in the background, or maybe on some of them drug deals. What a great movie.
Oh, the music just freaks me out. The movie was great. The ending was just I could not believe it.
Couldn't you?
No, I really couldn't. It was just like thinking like the worst possible thing that could happen.
Yeah.
And have it happen to everybody. Oh. I'm like, ugh.
Just keep in mind, if your arm ever starts turning purple like that.
I'm going to go see a doctor first.
Yeah. Let's put a Marlins game on right now, because the only time I ever play this is like going into a Marlins broadcast.
Yeah, that's the lead-in music.
Yeah, love it. Kind of eerie. I don't want to pick on the Marlins, but they are under 500 since their 8-1 start. What is it, 33 and 36, something like that?
Yeah, but they're still tied for first, so.
Let me say it again. They're not really playing that well. They're 3 games under 500. I don't want to pick on them, but I'm just saying, I mean, they're tied for first only because, and I told you earlier, I said it's a crappy division. How could you say that? It's a crappy division. The Phillies suck.
The Phillies suck.
The Braves really suck. They're a shadow of their former selves. Oh, come on. The Phillies have been gagging and choking lately. Are you kidding me? Phillies would be 5 games up if it weren't for the fact that they're gagging on it.
They're scoring like 12 runs a game.
And still losing. Did they win yesterday?
Yeah, like 17-2 or something.
Yesterday, or was that the day before?
That might have been the day before.
Day before. They lost last night. If they would have won, they'd be a game ahead.
Well, they caught back up to us.
Mr. Marlin expert, if they would have won, they'd be in a game ahead. Instead, they're like a percentage point ahead, right? They're tied.
We're tied, yeah.
Speaking of sports, we don't want to start doing sports stuff, but this fax here, this is a part of the problem. This is the Defoe syndrome all over again. Anytime you'd say something about hockey to Defoe, he'd start, Gump Worsley and Eddie Jackman, and talking about names from 100 years ago. And that's in South Florida. You got a bunch of old farts who all they knew about hockey was 80 years ago when Johnny Bauer was a baby, things like that. I'll just read this. I'm not even going to dignify it with a response. This is so pathetic. An old hockey nerd. Are you familiar with late 60s St. Louis Blues? Who was the best player? Red Berenson, who, by the way, went to Michigan Tech. Frank Saint-Marseille, who I never heard of. Terry Crisp, who's an awful color man, by the way, in the Nashville telecast. Glenn Hall, who used to puke before every game. Or Jacques Plante, Jake the Snake, who's dead. And where does Gary Unger rate in history? Probably as one of the blonde players. Jacques Plante, there was a guy, Jake the Snake. He was the first goalie to wear a mask in a game. You knew that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
And Glenn Hall used to puke before every game. Chicago Blackhawks. That's it. Don't bother me with hockey anymore, okay? I love it, but nobody here knows from hockey. They hate it. They can't stand it. Next thing you know, we'll be putting on the Spangler Cup.
And Ashley with a splendid job to come back and come for him.
Now, if that doesn't do it for you, we got World Junior Hockey.
Ontario 2 for 7 on the power play.
How do you like that?
That was much
Here it is. It's the 1st of July, and we're still hockey intensive here in Canada. They're obsessed with it, man. It's in their blood. It's in their cornflakes. It's in their Canadian bacon, eh? Which, quite frankly, I'd rather be around people who are obsessed with hockey than people obsessed with, like, guns and things like that and blowing people up.
I believe it.
We've got some damn good stuff on our website today, if I do say that. Can I say damn?
No.
We've got some dang good stuff on our website today. Christopher Dickey, dictator in waiting, meet our son of a bitch in Baghdad. That's the headline. I'm only going to read, I don't want to read a whole long thing here, okay? I'm too lazy for that. But just a couple of paragraphs to like whet your appetite, so you go to NeilRogers.com, and when you're through looking at that picture of Josie Moran. Oh, and Eric, I don't want to let Eric down because he went to the trouble of finding out when she was born, and I forgot all about it. May 8th, 1978. So she's not 20. She's 26 last time I checked.
Yep.
But that's okay. That wouldn't. In fact, that only makes the cheese more binding, I guess. That's a fine picture, Josh. That was a fine find.
I agree.
Yeah. Flawless. So after you're through perusing that, look at this story by Christopher Dickey of MSNBC. Dictator in waiting, meet our son of a bitch in Baghdad. He says, Iraqis don't grow bananas, but why should that keep the Bush administration from treating Iraq like a banana republic? The overwhelming invasion, the ill-conceived occupation, the obliviousness to what's thought of as a native culture, and the tendency to trust only those folks who know how to talk and act and make us think like they think, like us. Hey, that's the way we've been coming and going in the fever ports of Central America and the Caribbean for well over a century. So, too, the handover of paper sovereignty yesterday, meaning on Tuesday or whatever day it was, which took place Monday, ahead of schedule and in semi-sequency as if departing proconsul Paul Bremer was embarrassed by what he'd done for the last year or afraid of his life or both. Let freedom reign, President Bush wrote in the margins of Condoleezza's handwritten note about the handover. But is this any way to treat a great sovereign nation? Left in charge as Prime Minister is a smooth-talking former Ba'athist, Ayad Alawi, groomed in exile by the CIA since the early 1990s. Unlike his erstwhile rival, Ahmed Chalabi, who was groomed by the Defense Department, but always remained a bit too much the wily Oriental gentleman for American public tastes, Alawi comes across as more of a regular guy, maybe even a potential golfing partner. He understands what the Americans want, and as long as we're behind him with our troops and our billions, he may be able to get it. But let's not pretend he's a nascent Democrat, even if he manages to hold some cosmetic elections. Alawi is best understood as the anointed dictator in waiting. His job is to do whatever it needs doing to impose order on the current chaos, martial law, ruthless repression, you name it. With American firepower to back him up, he's more than ready to take the blame for any rough stuff. Alawi's defense minister proudly vows to chop off the hands and heads of terrorists, as Franklin Roosevelt is supposed to have said about an infamous Nicaraguan dictator. He's a son of a bitch, but at least he's our son of a bitch. Kind of like Saddam used to be before we decided we didn't like him no more, right?
We gave him back.
You know, one of the things in the movie, and of course I had already talked about it on the air and read about it in several of the books, the scene where, in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, 2 days later, and they show the White House, and we know that Bandar Bush is in there having dinner with W.
Yep.
And they show, after dinner, they show that they're on the balcony. And, you know, actually, we've had pictures of that in some of the books. But you see was it recreation or was it like for real?
They show
where he was
lighting
where
up,
he was drinking
a cigar, I think.
Yeah, he was smoking a stogie and drinking some fine wine, Bandar freaking Bush. That just frosted my fat ass.
Live and local. This is 560 WQAM.
Well, he went on TV and he talked to Tim Rutherford. Says that he's gonna get into the race. John Kerry's crying, George W.'s smiling. Ralph Nader keeps getting right up in their face. Oh, Ralph Nader keeps on running. Democratic Party is really bumming again. Oh, Ralph Nader keeps on running. GOP can see the victory coming again. Oh, Ralph Nader keeps on spoiling. Democrats are gonna keep on boiling again. Yeah, he's gonna spoil it all right. He's gonna make everyone, Ralph Nader's gonna make everyone uptight. Well, he can't get elected, but the outcome's affected Trump. Oh, Ralph Nader keeps on running. Democratic Party is really bumming again. Oh, Ralph Nader keeps on running.
12:45 at 560 WQAM. Mad Dog at 2, Eddie K for the Humper at 4. Are we going to make our 1,000 or what? 806 votes. Oh, yeah, we got like probably 850 by the end of this hour. We can do it. We can make 1,000 by the end of the day during the show.
We can do
and
it.
Considering it's the 1st of July and it's a July 4th holiday weekend, I'm pretty impressed by that, and I'm not impressed too easily, you know?
Yep.
Zach is even impressed, and he's not really paying much attention because he's kind of like half snoozing after a big lunch or two. Thanks again to Howie's. We love you, but just don't do that bacon thing to me again next time, okay? You saw the thing that I'm assuming that Troy Stratford had you fax that thing to me. He didn't do it direct?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Hey, Troy, I love you, Troy, but the answer is no. I mean, that's really... Did you see what it was all about, or did you not?
I saw it.
But do you know what that is?
No, I really don't.
Hypnosis.
Oh.
Yeah, hypnosis. Now, maybe that might work for you.
Right now, it'd be great.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to work on it. I'll read some more bedtime stories. That should do the trick.
Perfect.
This one is perfect. Let's see. Mike Shannon writes, Mr. President, please seek help. He says there's a very sound reason why so many people believe George Bush to be a simplistic, ill-informed, shallow little man. That is because he is a simplistic, ill-informed, shallow little man. He is, when all is said and done, so undeniably devoid of the characteristics of what a true inspirational visionary leader normally possesses that has been said many times before, including on numerous occasions by this author. If Mr. Bush's last name was Jones, he'd be lucky to win the mayoral race in Crawford, Texas. But he was born a Bush, and with all the advantages that twist of fate endowed him with, he has managed to take the Peter principle to heretofore unimagined heights. While at Ankara, Turkey this week for a series of meetings with our NATO partners, he once again took the opportunity to showcase for all the world to see his utter unworthiness for his high office by making a comment so inane that if any other world figure had made such a comment, there would have been an ensuing firestorm of astonished indignation. But because Mr. Bush has made so many of this type of idiotic statements that hardly an eyebrow was raised. He accomplished this feat while advocating the admission of Turkey into the European Union, a proposition that has a great deal of merit. However, because of some resistance to the idea, especially from the French, Bush felt he needed to add some fuel to his rhetorical fire. He did so by making the following declaration. Including Turkey in the EU would prove that Europe is not the exclusive club of a single religion. There are so many things wrong with that statement that it's difficult to accurately gauge the depth of the ignorance behind it. If he meant by this single religion Catholicism, I can understand if he's not up to speed on the differences between the Greek Orthodox and Roman variations of Catholicism. The dogmatic variations are a trifle esoteric, but does the man really think that the Holy Roman Empire is still calling the shots on the continent, or that the papists of Europe still mindlessly dance to the Vatican's tune? And is it really possible that this Yale University-educated man missed the Protestant Reformation entirely? Even if we throw the guy a line and assume that he meant Christianity as a single monolithic religion, he's still so far off base that it's embarrassing to think that our tax money pays this guy to say these things. Are we to believe that he's unaware that Judaism has been an integral part of the European community for a millennium, or that the nations of Europe has been home to Sikhs, Buddhists, Muslims, Taoists, agnostics, atheists, and adherents of every other religious and non-religious way of explaining the unexplainable known to humanity for centuries? Does he really think that everybody is a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant? This idiocy calls to mind another whopper he uncorked a few weeks ago and leads one to believe that the answer to the aforementioned question is yes. This time Mr. Bush was trying to make the point that it is borderline racist for anyone to insinuate that the peoples of Iraq are not capable of forming a modern and well-functioning democratic state, ignoring, of course, that the citizens of the world's largest democratic state, India, share the same basic melanin levels as their Iraqi compadres due to their ethnic backgrounds. He buttressed this argument by noting that, and I'm partially paraphrasing, it's unfair to so denigrate people who are different color than we are. If that isn't a classic setup for the comeback, who's we, white man? I don't know what is. Once again, we can give the guy a break and withhold ridicule for not knowing that there are a whole lot of black people in Brazil, but how could he possibly make a statement that at its base implies that everyone in the United States shares his skin color? Obviously, he knows that it isn't true, but at the same time, by making such a statement, he seems to wish that it was. When Archie Bunker, as the first American public figure of somewhat equitable level of exposure and notoriety, would make such a comment, it opened the nation's eyes to the utter stupidity of racial and ethnic prejudice. Evidently, Archie's message was a tad too subtle for Mr. Bush. I think he's got his thumb right on it there, Mike Shannon. That could be the same Mike Shannon that's on the Cardinal broadcast, could it?
It might be.
Used to play third base for the Cardinals?
Yep.
By the way, Jack Buck, I hear, is still dead.
Yeah, he is.
Now, let's see. Deborah LaFave. This is cute. Oh, my God. Deborah LaFave, and look.
Time will take the oath, baby. Let's hear calm down. No, she can't stonewall any longer. Feel the pressure of Congress getting stronger.
Ever see these two together? Good point, J.W. We got all kinds of Condoleezza stuff, some of which we can actually still play.
They're gonna stick their teeth right into Condoleezza. For every Democrat I know it's gonna please ya. I think you and Clark is lying, Condoleezza. Hey, Condoleezza.
You heard. And then, of course, there's always... There's always that. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I tell you what, maybe tomorrow, because it's the 2nd of July.
Uh-huh.
And I would think, I don't even know if Duff's coming in tomorrow. because it's a holiday weekend, and Clarence is on vacation. And Greg, you can be damn sure that he's long gone. You know, he'll be out. Right?
We'll be in charge then.
Yeah, we'll be in charge of the play. So Josh and Zach and I will be in charge of the show. We're going to play the unedited version of Condoleezza tomorrow several times, right?
All right.
And also kiss a Shiite good morning. Might be not too bad. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil Rogers show?
Speaking.
Neil.
Yes.
You mentioned the park where Bando was having cigars with Bush.
Yeah.
How come no one mentions that he's smoking a cohiba, a Cuban cohiba, and isn't that supposed to be illegal in this country?
Yeah, but not for Saudis, though.
But he's still in the White House.
Well, yeah, but he can do whatever the hell he wants. He's got the keys to the kingdom, baby.
Oh, is that what it is?
In other words, if you've got enough money and enough oil behind you, you can smoke whatever the hell you want, including the wacky weed.
Even though we're boycotting them or whatever
You
we're
got
doing
it.
with them.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's only for politics' sake, just to keep the old exiles happy, the Los Exilios down there in Little Havana, just to pander to them. And it ain't working too good no more. They're pretty pissed off at you, W. That story we had the other day, that sounds pretty a little bit on the promising side.
Increíble.
WQAM, hello.
Yes, is Miguel Escobar and promotions director an oxymoron?
Yes.
I'm telling you, I got something for this station to do absolutely free. I've emailed this clown. I've called this clown. He is the biggest ass
Yeah.
that you could ever imagine.
Why is that? He's got the biggest ass? I think Zach's got a bigger
No,
ass.
he's a jag-off.
Yeah, and? Oh.
I think that guy
Aaron,
like Miguel.
He don't like Miguel. We like Miguel, okay? He's a fine guy, okay? I mean, granted, he's got all my Marlin tickets, and I'm not too happy about that. Aaron in Nashville says, oh, look at this. Oh, my God. I heard you ripping Terry Crisp from his days with Tampa Bay. Now, wait a minute. I want you to think, even though you weren't paying any attention, didn't I say he does a terrible color job up there in Nashville doing the color on the games?
Yes.
Okay. Now, right on the heels of that, I get a fax saying, I heard you ripping on Terry Crisp from his days with Tampa Bay. I didn't say anything about Tampa Bay,
No, you didn't.
although I know he was the coach. Well, if you didn't know already, he's now the color guy up here in Nashville working with Pete Weber on the Predators games. We love him up here, but of course we're still new to hockey, of course, a bunch of yahoos. I've been listening for 5 years now. I love the show. Just don't bother with hockey talk because nobody would understand it. Aaron, thank you so much, and you're still learning that game, too. Like I said, he is a horrible color commentator. He's a yahoo also, so he fits in like a rubber glove. Aaron being in Nashville, though, he's got a lot of things to overcome up there. Y'all come back now, I hear. There's two kinds of people. I'm here in Nashville and then from New York, them Jews, you know. Wow. They're just a little bit clannish there in Nashville. They have a fairly decent team, and the thing that Barry Trotz is still the coach. Do you realize he's been the longest consecutive coach in the league?
Really?
Barry Trotz.
Hot the Trots?
And they give it a hell of a shot there in the playoffs, too. They gave the Red Wings the scare of their lifetime. Remember that? I bet you were watching every game on the edge of your seat.
Every game last year.
567-0560. Name me one player on Nashville Predators. Just one. Well, ask me to name one.
Name a player for me.
Well, the season's been over so long, you know. I mean, Mike Dunham used to be the goalie, but he's with the Rangers now. There's that David, whatever his name is, number 11. I can't think of his name. I know what he looks like. Pretty good. But, gee, that's bad. See? I don't know who's on that team.
I don't even know Nashville had a team.
The Nashville Predators?
Oh.
And the Minnesota Vile? You better get with it, mister, if you're going to be a sports maybe. No wonder Mo wants you off that show.
Absolutely.
He's a big hockey man.
I don't talk enough hockey for him, you know.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How come you only talk about things that you agree with?
Such as?
And the Minnesota Vile?
Turn it up real loud, Pally. Okay, stick it in your and get some vibrations from it. I mentioned Brian Wilson. This guy's looking for good vibrations. How come you only talk about things you agree with? Do you even understand this guy must be a Bushmeister person. They must have come from the same school of illiteracy. Blow it out your butt, Pally, okay? Have a good time doing it. In fact, save it as a souvenir. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir. Speaking.
Listen, I was reading something in the newspaper about...
Nobody said Happy Canada Day to me today yet so
far.
far.
Happy Canada Day, Neil.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I forgot all about it. That slipped my mind.
Easy
you know
to
what
do.
the definition of a Ponzi scam is? Have you ever heard of that? A Ponzi
I heard of Ponzi.
scam?
I thought he was on Happy Days. And the guy got chopped off. I didn't hang up on you. I don't know what that is. Call back if you want to, because I was kind of interested in that.
A Ponzi scam?
Yeah. Some kind of a financial scam. I've heard of that. I've heard tell. I can't stand Henry Winkler. David, it'll come to me, okay? David, I'm trying to think of somebody on Nashville. See, I'm giving you crap about it. I don't watch the Western Conference. I can't stand it.
Oh, that's your excuse.
No, it's just that I'm old and feeble. That's my excuse. What's yours?
I'm young and feeble.
Young and feeble and just gigantically fat. Now, you lost an ounce or two since I've been there or what? Because when I come back, you and Hank and, the beast I gave up on. Better be in a little bit better shape than the last time. The Humper, man, he was just... And speaking of the Humper, you missed your assignment you were going to do for me. You were going to talk to Dave Hagen and get me the info more on that American Cancer Society thing that Hank is raising money for and see if I could help. But evidently they don't want my help. That's okay, because I don't like the charity. But it's pretty embarrassing. I mean, if I'd have known... In fact, I wouldn't have made any comment at all. I just would have withheld my comment and written a nice check and sent it along. If somebody would have communicated with me, but I guess they didn't need my help, okay? Just like Don Corleone said to, what's his name? He didn't want my help. He didn't want to be in my debt. You were afraid. Remember?
That's right.
Bonasada.
They were afraid of you.
Yeah, Bonasada. 12:57 at 560 WQAM with the heat of the summer. And, boy, from what everybody's telling me, man, you could be roasting chestnuts right on the streets. Now's a great time to get out of that car you've been driving, get into a new Toyota from Armstrong Toyota of Homestead. They're on US 1, 20 minutes south of the 836, and well worth the drive down there because they're going to save you so much cash, literally thousands on great new Toyotas. With rising gas prices, maybe you want a car with more fuel economy. The legendary Toyota Corolla can be yours for just $11,990, or lease it for just $209 a month. Need a great Toyota for that college or high school graduate? How about the Toyota Echo lease price? It's just $199. Need a truck? The V6 Toyota Tundra regular cab can be yours for just $239 a month. If you're looking for the hottest new cars around, be sure and check out the Corolla XRS and Solara convertible now in stock at Armstrong Toyota of Homestead. Their service department is even open late every night to make sure your service work is done on weeknights. And keep in mind that Armstrong Toyota of Homestead was the first dealer to offer you free tires and batteries for life, and now they're the first to offer you free replacement parts for life. That's correct. Tires, batteries, and free parts for life. Nobody nowhere does that. So skip those mega dealers who'll give you a big song to dance and lie through their teeth. See David Rich, the GM at Armstrong Toyota of Homestead today for an honest-to-goodness real deal and save you thousands on that great new Toyota. Only at Armstrong Toyota of Homestead.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
1 to 2 hour.
The Middle Eastern world will be exploded. Saddam had people killed with the gas that we sold him. First time aggressor nation and the only one that's going. Now more blood will be spilled to get that oil flowing. Forget about Korea and the nukes they're toting. And the right wing is drilling it over and over into our heads. That Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction. $3,000 people killed are not forgotten. Let's exploit them instead. Hey, there's oil to be gotten. Going after Saddam too. Placate Osama. There's no longer mention of the name Bin Laden, but no one seemed concerned. All comfy and complacent, believing every word of this cartel administration that controls us by fear through media manipulation. And the right wing is drilling it over and over into our heads. That Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction. I'm dying over here. The loss of civil rights is the price that we're paying. We're all suspects now, Nazi Ashcroft is saying. I have nothing to hide, table talkers all are saying. Blind obedient cattle don't have any reservation. Without unprovoked battle and world annihilation. Old regimes must fall and Halliburton installed with no objection at all. Democrats don't have the balls and the right wing is drilling it over and over until our brainwashed heads.
I have no line.
Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction. Only Iraq has some weapons of mass destruction.
What else for you? You know the reason I play that, don't you?
I do not.
Because it was long.
Oh, perfect.
And I've had to pee for like 2.5 hours.
Nice.
I mean, how can you go take a leak when you got these short breaks like this? Plus, I guess Josh is dropping some extra promos and stuff in there, but I never know for sure.
I know.
So before I exploded, I figured I better play something a little on the long side, you know?
Perfect.
Anyway, here's a fact that says Greg Reed's boneheaded move, maintaining the station's relationship as the single largest shill for the Dolphin organization, or contracted for and only recognizing horrible talent long after they're already on the air, or C, imagine had Greg put Howard Stern as your lead-in, you would have marked at 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Well, JW and Volker, the things that you don't know, okay? Thank the Lord he didn't put Howard Stern on 6 a.m. to whatever, okay? I'm just telling you that right now. You think you know something, JW, but you don't know squat. All these experts out there, bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop, and you shouldn't have fired Ferrall, which I noticed is still in the, what is that? Oh, it's not. Dropped down to 4th place. See, if you don't keep track, but it's a pretty good battle there, you see that? What do you think Greg Reed's biggest bonehead move in the last 7 years has been? Hiring Mo Howard David at 170.
Absolutely.
Breaking up the first team, 139. OJ at the golf tournament steadily but surely is climbing up the list, 113. What a disgrace. Firing Scott Ferrall, tied with the OJ, 113. Neil firing, or not firing George Rodriguez, that was a Freudian slip, 87. Firing Joe and Mark. Now, see, Zach, you have little faith. I told you.
I was wrong.
Very wrong. You were so far off that I'm embarrassed for you. It's even worse than eating that hoagie sandwich.
It was so good.
Firing Joe and Mark, 56, as in Q56. You ought to be embarrassed.
When's Joe coming back, by the way?
A year from Sukkot. Keeping Geldy on the air, 54. Wow. Talk about embarrassing. Talking sports on the air for an hour after 9/11. After the planes hit the buildings, 34. They're still on there, giving scores and talking crap. And Jimmy and Danny and Danny and Jimmy.
Well, Bush was reading the book.
Brother. Hiring Scott Ferrall, 33. Putting the big on the air, 24. Using Joe Zagacki as a fill-in, 24 to fill in. Putting on the Crow, 20. Hiring Neil Rogers, 14. Putting on the Morning Crew, 5. And the QM Auctions only got 3 out of 891. We need 109 more for 1,000. Piece of cake, no sweat. I bet you Zach said straight up in the chair as soon as I said piece of cake.
Cake?
Here's one that says, even if you don't read the whole article, drop down to the last paragraph. 14 children by 9 women. Oh, my God, it says here.
Oh, my God.
NBA Hall of Famer Calvin Murphy was indicted today on 6 counts of sexually abusing 5 of his daughters more than 10 years ago. What a stand-up guy. Yeah, I think he did it standing up.
14 times.
The former Houston Rocket star, who's on leave from his job as an analyst on Rocket Telecast, also was on arraigned on 3 counts of aggravated sexual assault and 3 counts of indecency with a child, Assistant DA Lance Long said. Boy, there's nothing like these jocks, man, I'll tell you. Jocks and ex-jocks, they're the best.
Touchy-feely.
Calvin adamantly insists that he's innocent of these charges, anxious to present his side to a jury at a trial, his attorney, Rusty Hardin, said. Careful. Hardin said the indictment was expected. It's important for everyone to remember that the grand jury has not heard from Calvin nor many witnesses on his behalf that insist that these allegations are absolutely untrue. Murphy initially was charged March 29th after 5 daughters accused him of sexually abusing them between 1988 and 99 when they ranged in age, 91 that is, ranged in age from 6 to 13. Murphy, 55, has contended the allegations stem from a family battle over money. An explanation Long is dismissed. He remains free on bail, $20,000, but if convicted, Murphy could receive 5 years to life in prison for the aggravated offenses and 2 to 20 years for the indecency violations. He also could be eligible for probation because he has no criminal history. Another classy guy, evidently. But don't prejudge now, right?
No way.
And look at this, Red Berenson again. This guy, obsessed with Red Berenson, okay? Maybe I'll give him your phone number, okay, you old fart? God. Now, speaking of Ponzi, see, the guy got cut off, but he piqued my curiosity because we're here to learn. Isn't that what we're here for?
No.
To learn? To educate?
No.
Charles Ponzi, that's the guy's name that started this whole deal. Did you know that?
I did not.
Double your money in 90 days. Hey, have I got a deal for you? It says I can double your money in just 90 days guaranteed. Nonsense, you say. What? You don't trust me? I promise you that it can be done. A man named Charles Ponzi delivered on such a promise back in 1920. Says this has to be some type of scam. Well, I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't. Put your money back in the bank. You're not getting rich this week. Carlo Charles Ponzi was born in Parma, Italy, 1882, and then immigrated to the U.S. in November of 1903. Over the next 14 years, Ponzi wandered from city to city, from job to job. He worked as a dishwasher, waiter, store clerk, even as an Italian interpreter. In 1917, he settled back into Boston, where he took a job typing and answering foreign mail. It was in Boston on that fateful day in August 1919 that Ponzi discovered the mechanism to make both him and his investors very wealthy. Oh, this goes on forever. At the time, Ponzi was considering issuing an export magazine. He'd written a letter about the proposed publication of a gentleman in Spain, and when Ponzi received his reply, the man had included an international postal reply coupon. The idea behind this enclosure was quite simple. Ponzi was to take the coupon to his local post office and exchange it for American postage stamps. He would then use those American stamps to send the magazine to Spain. Ponzi noticed that the postal coupon had been purchased in Spain for about 1 cent in American funds, and when he cashed it in, he was able to get 6 American 1-cent stamps. Just think of the possibilities if you could do this. You could buy $100 worth of stamps in Spain, cash them in for $600 worth of stamps in the U.S., then cash in or sell the stamps to a third party, and you have, well, good old cash. You just can't get this kind of interest in the bank. Ponzi's mind quickly went into overdrive and devised a clever scheme to capitalize on his idea. He was determined to be a rich man. So at any rate, yada yada. That's how it started. Carlo Ponzi in Parma, Italy. Just learned something else, right?
Yep.
Very informative. Although I wonder what that guy was talking about in regard to that. It must have been about Defo or something. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, Pally.
I got one for you, Paul.
Yes, sir.
What about when they change your time to 9 o'clock?
Moving Neil's time slot. Excellent choice.
Have a good day.
And you too. That's a good one. Moving Neil's time slot. A disaster. If it's not broke, fix it. Mess around with it. Diddle with it. I almost said something else. Diddle with it. That's close.
Close enough.
Right?
Yeah, it's close enough.
If there's nothing wrong, just get your roll up your sleeves and come in here and create problems. That's what Greg does best. All management. They're all the same. Just a matter of degree. Just a matter of how much the suit costs and what the haircut looks like. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T line. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, you know that the article that Neil just read on the Calvin Murray?
Yeah.
If you put those two attorneys together, you got attorney Long and Hardin.
Okay, great. Weak. Remember Ty Hardin?
No.
Marginal actor. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Boy, you talk about weak. Weak. Although, why should I push it, right? We've actually done magnificently well today. Why the hell should we push it in this hour? Probably should just play the 1 or 2 comedy bits. Right. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil, I got a poll question for tomorrow. Whether Goldie's a squealer or a moaner.
Okay, great. Well, we'll ask Mo and find out.
Absolutely.
He's got the answers. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Definitely a squealer in the moaning. WQAM, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
Neil?
Speaking.
Neil, what's up?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm actually a long-time listener, and actually not a long time. I just started listening maybe 6 months ago ever since Howard Stern got taken off the radio. I love the show. But there's a couple of jokes that you have in the show that I just have questions about. If you don't mind. Like the About 30 Man. Like, what's the deal with that one?
About 30 Man.
That's it.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to play the whole bit that was taken from after the break, and then you'll understand.
Okay, can I ask you a couple more?
Real quick.
Okay. Let me just go ahead and ask them all flat out. What's the story behind you and Mo Howard Davey? You know, what's that? Animosity there. I love that. And all the people that come up and call you up and they say that sound, like that sound.
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Is there like a hidden meaning behind that? And why does everybody say to you that, you know, if you're gay or not? Like, you know, I mean, it's I don't know if it's private or not.
Well, what they're really trying to say is
I have no life.
That's it.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll get to all of them, pal. Have a
One
great
last
day.
thing, can you also play the Bill Clinton song, So Monica, you lost 40 pounds?
Okay, no problem.
I'm impressed.
No problem. See ya.
You rock.
Okay. Man, I should have just left him on till 2 o'clock if we didn't have any spots. Too bad all the spots are in this hour. 114 at 560. If you got spots on your head where there used to be hair, if you got like a big bald spot, that's the ugliest spot of all. Am I right?
Absolutely.
You bet. Chuck Alfieri would like to do something for you. Everybody and their brother, like I keep telling you, is running spots on this radio station. They're on TV. They're everywhere, trying to give you a song and a dance about how they're going to make you look great with a head of hair. Forget about them. Because for more than 35 years, Charlie's been doing it for the rich, for the not-so-rich, for everybody in between, because he offers you the most amazing natural hairline system in the universe. Now, keep in mind, the most critical area of any hair system is the hairline, and Charlie's skin-like hair system is 100% undetectable. Let me say it again. It is undetectable. And Charlie gives you this 30-day guarantee, like the guy just said.
About 30, man.
After a month, if you don't love the way it looks and feels and smells, if you're not getting more action, if your school teachers aren't pawing at you, return it for a full refund. Charlie also services and repairs existing hair systems, usually while you wait, including shampoo and trim. So forget about those other guys. Forget about the pills. Forget about the muskrat look, because that's out. If you want to look great, younger, and better than you ever dreamed again, you could. Call toll-free 1-800-321-2430. See, I got all the words in there, just not necessarily in the right order, right?
Yeah, sure.
But who's counting? 1-800-321-2413, or check them out on the web at charlesalfieri.com.
This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
All right, let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Puff Daddy, sitting in the chair. I'll call you Puffy. Yo, man, yo! Are you ready? Yeah. Here's your $100 question. Finish this nursery rhyme. All right. Hickory dickory blank. Is it A, dock, B, pier, C, marina, or D, inlet? Whoa, man. This is a $100 question right here? You're kidding me, right? This is $100. For $100. This ain't the $1 million question? Well, this is the first one. Man. It's only for $100. Is this a black thing? Would you like to use a lifeline? Yeah, all right. What do I got? Well, we have the Ask the Audience, the 50-50, and the Phone a Friend. Ask the Audience. Too many white people in here. 50-50 ain't gonna help me. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna phone a friend. Gonna phone a friend on the $100 question finishing the nursery rhyme. Yeah. All right, who we gonna call, Puppy? Oh, my boy, Old Dirty Bastard. Old Dirty Bastard? Yeah, Dirty we call him. Our friends from AT&T will get Old Dirty on the line, and hopefully he can help you.
Yo.
Old Dirty.
Yeah, man.
Regis Philbin from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. How are you?
Aight.
Got your friend here, Puff Daddy. Yo, Dirty, what's up?
What's up?
What's
up?
All right.
What's up,
Old Dirty, Puff Daddy's in a little bit of trouble here on the $100 question.
Ain't the first time, man.
First question, and the next voice you hear will be his. He'll come on the line. He'll ask you the question. He'll give you 4 possible choices. Are you set?
Hey, man.
Next voice you hear will be his, and 30 seconds begins now. What's up? Yo, Dirty, finish this off for me, all right?
Hey, man.
Hickory dickory blank. Is it A, dock, B, pier, C, merino, or D, inlet?
Oh.
Come on, man, I don't got much time.
Man, I know this, man. I know it. I think it's pier.
Pier, you sure?
About 30, man.
This is a lot of money, man.
Yeah, about 30.
All right, man, thank you very much.
All right, man.
Time's up, Old Dirty, said pier. You still have 2 lifelines left. We are on the $100 question. You know what, Regis? Want to poll the audience? No, I'd like to add a lifeline. Actually, no, there's only 3 lifelines. You've used 1, you have 2 left. No. I get another lifeline. It's a brand new one to the game. And what is that, Puffy? It's called Shoot the Host. Puffy, you can ask the audience. I call it Shoot the Host. Puffy, use the 50-50. What's the answer? Puffy, it's Doc. It's A. It's Doc. My final answer's Doc. It's Doc. And it's a good one. You got $100. Run, you white boy, run. Come on.
So, there's the story.
About 30, man.
On where that came from. 121 at 560 WQM. I'm really glad he asked for both of those bits. You want to know why?
Why?
Because that one is pretty long, and the one Clinton, the State of Women. Let me just check. 3 minutes and 48 seconds.
All right.
Just what we like at this time of the year. Well, we like it any time, but especially during these holidays when it's kind of like a lull.
Yeah.
Here's a fax that says, I heard on NPR, although I don't know why they had to hear this on NPR, because I had it on yesterday, that the Florida vote, Bush 43, Kerry 43, and Nader 5. Didn't we have that on yesterday? Yes. And anyway, it says, maybe we could send El Presidente to get rid of him to Abu Ghraib. Sounds good to me. We can teach him how to pronounce it. Chris says, please add to the poll. I'm not going to add either one of these, but thank you anyway for the thoughts, Chris. It says, putting that fruit fly on in the morning that does the traffic. Now, what kind of a way is that to talk about my close personal friend, Mark Morgan?
I'm Mark Morgan. Now here's Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Also, it says, I think that Tom Jickia on the air is very amateurish, should not be on the radio. Well, I certainly agree with that. In fact, even in his column, he's very amateurish. Again, I like him personally. He's a good guy at the track. But as far as that column, the column he wrote on Stern this morning, Tommy, I know you listen to the show. I don't want to make you feel bad on a holiday, but that was so weak. And 90% of that column was just written from the wire services story. There was really nothing in there except the fact that the buzz has got a weak signal and everybody, better watch out because Stern is coming back, so close your ears and all, whatever. It was very weak. Just like that signal from the buzz that you won't hear in Dade County. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Let's take a look. We're going to make that 1,000, no sweat, right?
Right. Should.
9:49. It's only like about 20 after the hour. 949 votes. What do you think Greg Reed's biggest bonehead move, he's our general mangler, of course, over the past 7 years has been? Hiring Mo Howard David at 185. Boy, no matter how much we try, to rehab him and like to polish up his image a little bit, it just ain't working too good.
Not at all.
Breaking up... What did you say?
I said not at all.
Breaking up that's what I thought you said. The first team, 146, which led to all these other disasters. Firing Scott Ferrall, 122. OJ at the golf tournament's right on Ferrall's ass. You better watch it, Scott. OJ Simpson is right on Scott Ferrall's ass. How do you like that?
Interesting.
120. Not firing George Rodriguez, 91. They just love, like I said, picking on poor little Jorge. Firing Joe and Mark, 66. Keeping Geldy on the air, 54. Talking sports for an hour after 9/11, after the plane hit, 37. That should be much. Well, of course, Greg was busy with that finger in a hole in his head. He probably didn't even know what was going on. Hiring Scott Ferrall, 35. Putting the big O on the air, 25. The big O! Using Josie Zavillan, 24. Putting the Crow on the air, 20. Hey, they love the Crow, man. Hiring Neil Rogers, 15. That was a bad move for me. Putting on the morning crew, 6. The QM auction, 3. And moving Neil's time slot so far has got the big none. Just been on there a short time and don't have any. Well, that's because we finally got it back. How did we get it back? See, you see how all of these, again, it all goes back to screwing up with the worst team. Because almost everything that's on this list, hiring Ferrall, firing Ferrall, moving a time slot, it all had to do with that. It had to do with accommodating a cranky old man who didn't want to work for 4 hours because that was just beneath him. So 6 to 10 was out of the question. So we had to move me to 9 to 1. And then, of course, 5, just pathetic. In fact, it started 6 to 9. I forgot all about that, right?
That's right.
Mo and Geldy were 6 to 9. And then, of course, that turned out to be a bigger bomb than Hiroshima. So as a result, that's when Ferrall came in and we got the 8 to 10 thing going.
Yep.
And damn near lost the license and stuff like that. Little minor things. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? I've got a new one.
What is it?
That would be him not slashing his wrist.
What did he just say?
Not slashing. Mr. Reed, he should have slashed his wrist.
Okay, whatever you say, sir. We sound a little bit nervous, but nevertheless.
Greg hates you.
I think that's what he was trying to say. I have no idea what that was all about. Although we sure pay to watch that, wouldn't we?
Oh, yeah.
That would be fun. In fact, I can think a lot of people in the buildings would be like pushing you out of line just to get to the front of the line for a good seat. 26 after 1 at 560 WQM. Speaking of fat people, Zach.
Huh?
Now, have you tried Atkins? Have you done it?
Yes, I did.
I don't want to pursue it beyond that because some of us just can't stay on Atkins. And that's the reason we're talking about delights all the time is because for people who can't stay on their low-carb diets like South Beach and Sugar Busters or the Atkins diet, it's pretty boring. It's monotonous. It sounds great in the beginning, steak and seafood and butter and eggs and stuff like that. But you have to have some variety. And Delights of West Boca has helped thousands of low-carb dieters achieve their weight loss goals, so this is a place you really ought to get familiar with, because today shopping for the right low-carb products has become a real pain in the arse. Most of the so-called low-carb products on grocery store shelves won't help you lose weight, so don't sabotage your weight loss goals. Come into Delights in West Boca to help you stay on the right track, because they've got hundreds and hundreds of the best-tasting, lowest-carb products anywhere, and one of the great deals they got in their store is that you can try anything in the store before you buy it, so before you lay out any cash and buy a whole bunch of stuff and take it home, you'll find out if you like it or not. Their staff knows low-carb dieting inside and out. They're open every day till 10. Don't forget their guaranteed lowest price policy on all Atkins, Carbolites, and Pure Delight products. That's Delights of West Boca. They'll not be undersold by no one, nowhere. Delights is on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market. You can call them toll-free, 1-877-LOW-CARB, LOWCARB, or on the web it's lowcarb.com. Delights of West Boca, your official Atkins retail center.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hey, how you doing, honey? This is Bill Clinton, the President of the United States, and this is my State of the Women address. I've known a few girls who thought they were pretty hot, but Billy's here to tell you that, girl, you're not. They used to wear makeup and rip away pants, but when they looked at me, they were under my trance. Whoa, you think you're special? Whoa, you think you're something else? So, Paula Jones, you got a new nose. That don't impress me much. Well, you got the brain, but have you got the touch? Now, don't get me wrong, well, I think you're alright, but that will keep me warm in the middle of the night. That don't impress me much. Let's move along, shall we? I think you'll remember this one. She had a tape recorder that she kept on her phone, and after she ate steak, she would bury the bone. She got herself some lipo and a tummy tuck, but she's still as ugly as a hockey puck. Whoa, she thinks she's something special. Whoa, she thinks she's something else. So, Linda Tripp got some surgery. That don't impress me much. Well, you got the brain, but have you got the touch? Now, don't get me wrong, yeah, I think you're alright, but that won't keep me warm in the middle of the night. That don't impress me much. I haven't forgotten it, buddy. Oh, yeah, how about this next one? A big, chunky girl with a purple beret. That damn Gap dress nearly put me away. Little secret meetings in the corridor. I could have taught Wilt Chamberlain how to score. Whoa, she thinks she's special. Whoa, she thinks she's something else. So, Monica, you lost 40 pounds. That don't impress me much. Well, you got the brains, but have you got the touch? Now, don't get me wrong, well, I think you're alright, but that won't keep me warm in the middle of the night. That don't impress me much. I'm saving the best for last. Well, I've tried to cut the brakes on her car. No offense, but I think I'd rather sleep with Kenneth Starr. When she gives birth, I think her offspring should hatch big old legs and an ass to match. Oh, she thinks she's special.
Rectum.
Oh, she thinks she's something else. So, Hillary, you're going to be a senator from New York. That don't impress me much. Well, you got the brains, but have you got the touch? Don't get me wrong, well, I think you're alright, but that won't keep me warm in the middle of the night. That don't impress me much. Thank you. That is my State of the Women address. I love you.
133 at 560 WQAM. I'll tell you, CNN just having a feeding frenzy with the Sodom tape.
The seventh charge
was against Saddam Hussein as...
They're just showing it with the interpreter over and over and over again. He was only in there for like a half an hour. You think it's like the OJ trial, just on and on. It eventually will be, but months down the line. And then they're going to fry his ass and will say, see, we did it! Oh! We got him! He didn't have nothing to do with the 9/11, but we got him anyway, because he's a bad guy. He was our bad guy. Like Roosevelt said, he was our son of a bitch for a while. Now he's somebody else's son of a bitch. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Ralph Nader, here's some good news. This is going to shock even you. Really? Even a guy as low-key as you are, you'll be shocked. Pat LaMarche, you know who that is?
No.
No. The Green Party's newly nominated candidate for vice president said yesterday that her top priority is not winning the White House for the Green Party, but ensuring that President Bush is defeated.
All right.
She is, in fact, so determined to see Bush lose that she wouldn't commit to voting for herself and her running mate, Texas lawyer David Corn on the Cob. LaMarche, who won 7% of the vote when she was the Green independent candidate for governor of Maine in '98, said she'll vote for whoever's got the best chance of beating Bush. She said, but if Bush has got 11% of the vote in Maine come November 2nd, I can vote for whomever I want. And if the state is as it is now a toss-up between Bush and Kerry, she could well vote for the Democrat. I love my country, she said. Maybe we should ask them that, because if Dick Cheney loved his country, he would not be voting for himself. A spokesman for the Bush-Cheney campaign said the vice president is certain to vote for his and Bush re-election. What a shock that is. Oh, man. Don't you love some of the crap they put in these articles?
It's unbelievable.
Larry Sabato, no relation to Kenny Domingo, or Domenico Modugno. Larry Sabato, a political scientist who directs the University of Virginia Center for Politics, said it's a rare thing even for a splinter party to have a nominee for vice president indicate she's not sure for whom she's going to vote. In other words, if it's in a close state, if it's a close race, rather, she's voting for Kerry. How do you like that, huh? Oh! You go, Pat. Here's a story you'll love. Positive.
All right.
Oh, there's that Scott McClellan, that weasel.
The Iraqi people. And this step today begins a process.
Yeah, begins a process of dog and pony show is what he's trying to say. Anyway, ACLU fights nude teen camp ban. This is in Richmond, Virginia, with a banjo on their knee. A lawsuit is challenging a new state law that effectively bans nude summer camps for teenagers, saying it violates the constitutional right to privacy. The ACLU sued Tuesday in federal court to keep the state from shutting down a no-clothing camp for juveniles in late July at the Whitetail Park nudist camp in Ivor, Virginia. Isn't that a great name, the Whitetail Park?
Oh, yeah.
You've probably seen a little whitetail in your time.
Once in a while.
Once in a great while. Probably not as much as Josh.
I love the whitetail.
Oh. The law was passed in March in response to a week-long residential camp for 11 to 18-year-olds last June in Whitetail Trail. It was the first in Virginia and only the third such all-natural camp for juveniles in the nation, according to the American Association of Nude Recreation. I bet until this moment you never even knew, you and the entire audience never even knew, there was such a thing as the American Association of Nude Recreation.
I did not,
but there remember. Is. Mark that down as another thing you learned today, not only the Ponzi scheme. Legislators overreacted, and in the process, they substantially interfered with the right of families to make lifestyle choices, Virginia ACLU Executive Director Kent Willis said. I wonder if he's kin to Don Trell. Using the overall logic of this law, legislators are now free to prevent children from swimming, playing baseball, or riding a bus. The law, which took effect today, denies a state license to any hotel, summer camp, or campground that maintains or conducts as any part of its activities a nudist camp for juveniles. It defines the camps as those attended by openly nude juveniles, not accompanied by parents or legal guardians. So in other words, if their parents were with them, I guess it's okay. Attorney General Jerry W. Kilgore said last year that such camps could attract pedophiles and child pornographers. We believe the law as passed is constitutional, and we look forward to defending minors and morals in the Commonwealth, said Tucker Martin, a Kilgore spokesman. Now, Whitetail opened in southeastern Virginia in 1984. About 1,200 nudists are there at any one time, including about 30 families.
About 30, man!
Who live there all year. Visitors undergo background checks, and the camp has strict rules against lewd, lustful, or lascivious conduct. See, one thing about that drop-in...
About 30, man!
Even if you never did hear the Puffy and Regis thing, it's
about 30, man!
You know, it's got its moments, but once you hear the original bit...
About 30, man!
It has a little more emphasis, right?
Yes, it does.
It has some more significance.
About 30, man!
Similar youth groups have been held in Florida and Arizona, according to the American Association of Nude Recreation, with which Whitetail is affiliated. Besides Whitetail, plaintiffs include 3 couples who are Whitetail members and their children, 3 boys ages 11, 15, and 17, and 2 girls ages 10 and 12. Definitely those girls much too young for you guys to be looking at. These are parents who have raised their kids in a nudist lifestyle and made their parents and the kids view nudity as something natural and ordinary, as opposed to something erotic or sexual, said Rebecca Glenberg, the lead attorney. Sounds like a yid to me again.
Oy.
So many Jewish doctors and lawyers, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And, Zach, look what happened to you. That's okay, you're working at the strip club. I forgot about that.
That's right.
So for these kids, being around other naked kids is something perfectly normal, and the camp is very highly supervised, and quit being so uptight is basically what they're trying to say. But that's in Virginia, which even though geographically on the map looks like it's up north, kind of, sort of. Trust me when I tell you, it's the deep south. Make no mistake about it. You ever been in Virginia?
I have been. Richmond.
And?
It was for like a 5th grade field trip.
Yeah. Oh, well, you wouldn't know.
I don't remember.
Long time ago. Very Yahoo place. 1:39, 21 till 2. We got the Mad Dog working today.
All right.
He's back from a marginally deserved day off yesterday. Then we got Eddie K for the Humper at 4. Humper on the way to Vegas. And then the Marlin game. Marlin's on deck at 7. Marlin's at the Braves 7:35. Curtis Stevenson was getting more and more airtime all over. You notice that?
Yes.
See, that's how it works. And well deserved. Curtis does a good job on the air. And he'll be on an AK slot after the ball game. And then, of course, overnight we just shut it off. Is your company suffering from regulations and increased labor costs? Let Oasis Outsourcing help you when it comes to the people side of your business. Payroll administration, Fortune 500 company employee benefits, human resource services, and risk management are just a few of the services that Oasis Outsourcing can cover to help your business be a lot more profitable. Call Oasis Outsourcing today for a free evaluation at 1-866-OASIS. That's 1-866-286-2747. With more than 60,000 employees worldwide, Oasis Outsourcing understands the many facets to human resource management. Outsourcing is being recognized by firms large and small as a powerful management choice, which lets you focus on your core business while leaving the operational details to the folks at Oasis Outsourcing. So let Oasis Outsourcing make your business more profitable. If you'd like a free evaluation, call them toll-free. There's no obligation. Call 1-866-OASIS. That's 1-866-286-2747 for Oasis Outsourcing.
And local. This is Sports Radio 560. WQAM.
Get the Hoover out the moon, man.
And I'm the big...
Oh! What's that stand for? Orgasm?
No, that's just short for Orlando Bloom.
You don't look Jewish.
No.
No. Wow.
Now Neil's going to rip me for 4 hours.
Well, I've been asked to keep this in strict confidence. But in case you're wondering why we're here, Joe got suspended!
Maybe we should take this call from our special guest, Roberto Luongo.
Hiya, Roberto! You know that I'm the voice of the Panthers now?
Yes. Hey, aren't you that squeaky voice guy that goes by all the time?
Oh! You got me confused with a character on another show. That's not me. I have children, you know.
Doy.
You have a funny name. Okay, what's this call about?
Why did you...
Doy. We can't get into that right now. Do the music! Hey, Joe! I don't want you walking out of here with just this thing in your hand.
Come here!
Hiya, Joe.
I'm gonna crush your head like a peanut.
1:45 at 560 WQAM. Well, this has been painless, you know it?
Running right through the time here.
Nice free lunch yesterday from, what was it?
The Joint.
The Joint. How could I forget? From some joint. And Howie's today. And tomorrow, God only knows. Maybe Jeff Cohen will come by tomorrow.
No, we got Char Hut Friday tomorrow.
Oh, I forgot about that. Now, is Joe's head embroidered on every burger from Char Hut now?
Yes.
Man, he is really tight with those folks. Have you noticed one thing about Joe Rose, man?
I noticed a lot of things about Joe Rose.
Well, I'm sure you do. But you don't love him like the Beast, though. You hear that comment?
What comment?
About how he loves... I don't want to go into it. It's too embarrassing. But at any rate, like Char Hut, Beverly's Jewelers, and Air Around the Clock. Those three, man, those people, they love Joe. They would like to take Joe Rose, put him on their shoulder. A heavy load to carry, especially with them saggy boobs. But it's just, I'm really impressed. And Joe has done a fine job. And see, there's another example. How about putting on our list one more before we leave? Suspending Joe Rose. Huh? Is that the way we want to put it, or huh?
It's going on right now.
Suspending Joe Rose after Greg jerked him around all those months, didn't pay him, didn't put him on the, didn't make that deal. And even now there seem to be still some question marks. I hear people saying, like, oh, well, that's all taken care of, isn't it? There's always a question mark at the end when you're dealing with Greg. That's all done, isn't it? Ain't it? At any rate, according to a report in today's Washington Post, President Bush has reappointed W. David Hager, notorious for his fringe anti-choice beliefs and persistent anti-choice activism, to the influential Reproductive Health Drugs Advisory Committee of the FDA. Hager has used his position on the committee to advocate his ideological agenda, becoming one of only 4 dissenters from the overwhelming vote to recommend over-the-counter sale of the morning after contraceptive Plan B, a recommendation that was overruled by the administration in response to far-right political pressure. In recent weeks, NARAL Pro-Choice America has led a grassroots campaign to persuade the president not to reappoint Hager, spurring more than 25,000 pro-choice activists to send messages of opposition, in addition to a coalition of members of Congress, including pro-choice Republican Representative James Greenwood of Pennsylvania and Nancy Johnson of Connecticut, sent Bush a letter pleading that he not take this step. Elizabeth Cavendish, interim president of NARAL Pro-Choice America, said, President Bush is dumbed again, bent over backward to keep his anti-choice base happy in a way that simply slaps the pro-choice majority in the face, ignores women's health, and shows absolute disdain for medical science. It's a slap in the face. Pro-choice Republicans asked him not to reappoint David Hager. More than 25,000 grassroots Americans sent up petitions asking that he not put this extremist back into this influential position, and common sense would argue that Hager is nowhere near qualified to serve on a body that's supposed to provide non-ideological scientific guidance. This is right in line with that article we had yesterday, all those thousands of scientists who signed a petition against Bush.
Yep.
Among the highlight of Hager's record as practicing OBGYN, he not only refuses to perform surgical abortions or prescribe medical abortion, he won't even provide the IUDs, a widely accepted form of contraception. Hager helped the Christian Medical Association write a citizen's petition in August that called for the FDA to reverse its approval of medical abortions and pull it off the market, ignoring over a decade of international research that's established the safety and efficacy of this early abortion option. Time magazine cited 2 sources familiar with his private practice as saying that Hager has refused to prescribe contraceptives to unmarried women. Hager wrote Stress in the Woman's Body with his wife Linda, recommending scripture readings as treatment for premenstrual syndrome and other medical conditions. There you go. Scripture readings, that'll do it.
Oh,
all right.
ew, good.
Yeah. Just pray to the Lord. Oh, man. Why isn't the media talking about these things? That's what I would like to know. Why? Because they're in Bush's pocket, because they don't want to tell us the truth, because they're afraid that somebody's going to come along and knock them off the air, fine them millions and millions of dollars, because the Saudis are on their board of directors. And just in closing, as far as El Bushmeister, because I don't want to get too depressed. You know,
Abu Ghraib.
Enough of that already. Iraq is worse off than before the war began, says the GA.
Oh!
In some key areas, electricity, the judicial system, and overall security, the Iraq that America handed back to its residents Monday is worse off than before the war began last year, according to calculations in a new GA report released this week. The 105-page report by Congress's investigative arm offers a bleak assessment of Iraq after 14 months of U.S. military occupation. Among its findings, in 13 of Iraq's 18 provinces, electricity was available fewer hours per day on average last month than before the war. Nearly 20 of Iraq's 26 million people live in those provinces. 20 million people, a little electricity here, a little bit there. They can't even run their pop-up toaster.
That's terrible.
They won't even be able to heat up their Hamantash next Purim. Only 13.7, not that you're supposed to, only $13.7 billion of the $58 billion pledged and allocated worldwide to rebuild Iraq has been spent, with another $10 billion about to be spent. The biggest chunk of that money has been used to run Iraq's ministry operations. The country's court system is more clogged than before the war, and judges are frequent targets of assassination attempts, sometimes successful. The new Iraqi civil defense policy and overall security units are suffering from mass desertions, are poorly trained and ill-equipped. The number of what the now disbanded Coalition Provisional Authority called significant insurgent attacks skyrocketed from 411 in February to 1,169 in May. Another one today, by the way. I mentioned that before. The report was released on the same day that the CPA's Inspector General issued 3 reports that highlighted serious management difficulties at the CPA. The reports found that the CPA wasted millions of dollars at a Hilton Resort Hotel in Kuwait because it didn't have guidelines for who could stay there, lost track of how many employees it had in Iraq, and didn't track reconstruction projects funded by international donors to ensure that they didn't duplicate U.S. projects. And it goes on. It's on our website. Iraq is worse off than before the war began, GAO reports. That's the article by Seth Borenstein.
Oh,
another one of those people. Another one of your people, Zach.
Yep, another yid.
So many yids in so little time. Anyway, well, I'm telling you, it feels like this is just zip by today, you know? And then we got tomorrow, and then next week. Next week starts that schedule, Bill. Not that I'm looking forward to it, you understand?
No.
No, I enjoy being here every day, 5 days a week. Once in a while. A couple of weeks a year. Here's our poll result up to the moment. We topped 1,000 like they were standing still. 1,051, man. What do you think, Greg Reed, our general mangler, what his biggest bonehead move has been these last 7 years? Hiring Mo Howard, David, you can't catch him, Mo. 190 on the Mo Meister's back. Breaking up the first team, 159. OJ at the golf tournament, you notice how steadily that just keeps climbing and moving up there, OJ?
Oh, yeah.
133. Firing Ferrall, 126. Firing Joe and Mark, 107, Zach.
Wow.
Not firing George Rodriguez, 106. Keeping Geldy on the air, 60. Talking sports on the air for an hour after 9/11, after the planes hit the towers, 42. Hiring Ferrall, 36. Putting the big on the air, 25. Using Josie as a fill-in, 25. Putting the Crow on the air, 20. A shocking development. Hiring Neil Rogers, 15. Putting on the morning crew, the wrecking crew, 7. Moving Neil's time slot, 6. The QAM auction, 3. And suspending poor Joe, none yet. That'll get to them. See, I don't think we're really saying that the way we should.
How else can we work?
Well, we could put screwing Joe Rose over. That would be a good way to put it. But we can leave it that way, because if we change it, then Eric's got to put his fine head, right? Am I right, Josh?
Right.
So, like I said, it's perfect. 153 at 560Q, and Pompano Park is going to explode this Friday night as the racetrack kicks off their July 4th holiday weekend with a spectacular fireworks show after the last live race tomorrow, July number 2. It's a family fun night, so bring out the kids as there'll be clowns, free face painting, live music, free miniature horse rides, all starting at 7 p.m. There'll be a special early post time tomorrow at 7:05 p.m. because of the fireworks show. The fireworks show is set to take place at 10:30 tomorrow night. Poker room is open, noon to midnight. And it's easy to get to Pompano Park from anywhere because it's close to both I-95, just a half mile away, and also a half mile from the Turnpike. And best of all, Pompano Park offers you free admission, free general parking every day. Live harness racing in the poker room open every Friday and Saturday. Poker starts at noon and goes on till midnight. Live racing gets underway nightly, 7:25 p.m. Pompano Park, of course, is also continuing to open every day, 7 days a week, for simulcasting. With the best in harness racing, thoroughbred, and highlight action, watch out for Ray McLean Jr. from all across North America for you to watch and wager on, and Don McElroy. Pompano Park, a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. For the racing schedule, you can go on the web at pompanopark.com or call 954-972-2000. Don't forget the big explosions, the fireworks, and great racing tomorrow and this weekend at Pompano Park.
And local. This is Sports Radio 560. WQAM.
OJ, you killed Nicole. You killed Nicole. OJ, you killed Nicole. You killed Nicole. I killed Nicole. I killed Nicole. I killed Nicole.
That night, when she turned off all the lights, there's no place where she could hide. Oh no, OJ was gonna get her. OJ went out to kill 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 her. That night. One day, the jury's gonna set free OJ. For all we know, he's gonna head your way. Oh yeah, and OJ's gonna get ya. It's true, OJ is gonna come after you, and then he'll get away with that one
keep having this recurring dream that OJ sneaks into the sales department and slices off Screw-Ann's head.
Really?
Yeah, and then right around lunchtime, he walks in with a big, that Schmidt-eating grin that he's always got on his face, and has Screw-Ann's head on a big platter. Nice. And then Zach and Beast and Josh Friedman returns and battle over who's going to eat Screw-Ann's head.
Who wins?
Then I wake up in a cold sweat. What a thought, man. Yeah, I think I would come back to see that. Screw-Ann's head on a plate. Sounds like a winner to me. Anyway, I bet you even Mo don't like OJ. I've never heard him confabulate about that, but I bet you even he's got nothing but disdain. Even a guy who's like almost universally reviled like Mo. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Does he ever discuss OJ on that show?
Not really.
Really? Well, maybe you ought to pump him for a little information about that tomorrow, or just ask him a few questions. Anyway, we got the Mad Dog next. We got Eddie K for the Humper at 4 this afternoon.
Bye! The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Enough of the sucking already! Oh!